Listen, what's the deal? It's Flight Sports TV. You already know what it is. We're gonna be giving you some coverage. The second half, the New York Knicks. This is gonna be a big time game for the Knicks, man. We gotta win tonight, point blank, period. Only time will tell. It's Flight Sports TV. The New York Knicks, man, they fighting like hell. It's looking like it's gonna be all she wrote. It's 54-66. It's definitely not looking in our favor. The Knicks, they've been trying to come back, back to back. It seemed like every game they've been trying to come back, but this is going to be the craziest one yet. On the road, we all knew this game was going to be one of those ones that it wasn't going to work out. But let's see what happens. It's 54-66. Is this the last game of the New York Knicks season? Only time will tell. Give Indiana credit. Jalen Brunson tonight, 10 points. Karl-Anthony Towns held to 8. 8 rebounds. We're going to need one of them big time Karl-Anthony Towns fourth quarters. I think that's what's going to be warranted. The New York Knicks, this is a crazy game. I don't know how the Knicks ended up in this encounter. It's 54-67. Here we go. I got Mikal Bridges inbounding the basketball. He gives it to Karl-Anthony Towns. Back to Mikal Bridges. Tyrese Halliburton on Mikal Bridges. We got a screen and roll coming. I got Mikal Bridges picking up. Bridges holding it a little too long. He gives it back to Bridges. Bridges with a turnaround fade, and it's good. It's 56-67. The Knicks cut it to 11. They got Halliburton running crazy. He turns it over. The Knicks force a turnover. Thank God. Here comes Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges bringing the ball up the floor. Screen and roll. Big time alley-oop with Mitchell Robinson. Can the New York Knicks save their season tonight? That's going to be the million-dollar question. Here goes Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton kicks it out. Neesmith has it. Neesmith going all the way to the cup, and he gets blocked, but Pascal Siakam, he's just been killing us. The New York Knicks, we have no answer for Pascal Siakam. Here comes Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson has it. Jalen Brunson with it. Step back. 3-ball, money. 61-69. Can the Knicks save their season? Tyrese Halliburton with it. Tyrese screen and roll. Tyrese Halliburton picked up by Jalen Brunson. Tyrese Halliburton with it at the three-point line. He kicks it to Pascal Siakam for 3, and it's off. The Knicks get a stop. Thank God that the Knicks can finally get a stop. Man, this is crazy. Shout out to all the New York Knicks fans all around the world. This is going to be a crazy game tonight. I don't know how the Knicks going to survive. Karl-Anthony Towns with it. He's pushing it up on Pascal Siakam, and he scores it, but they didn't count it. Look like we got a foul here on the Knicks. So they get a break. This is ridiculous. It's 61-69, 8:21 to go in the third. Here goes Tyrese Halliburton. He gives it to Nembhard, back to Tyrese. Tyrese picked up by Mikal Bridges. Mikal been on him pretty much all series. Back to Nembhard. 3-ball. Oh, my goodness. Thomas Bryant with a 3-ball. It's looking like the Knicks is going to lose this game if they don't figure something out defensively. It's like everybody's hitting threes right now for the Pacers. Here comes Jalen Brunson. He's shaking up Pascal Siakam. Brunson, free throw line jumpers, money. Knicks cut it to 9. 63-72. Pascal Siakam going to the cup. And he's fouled. Like I said, Siakam, we got no answer for Siakam. No answer. They're playing hard. Give Indiana credit. Neesmith for 3, and that's off. Here comes Brunson. Jalen Brunson with it crossing half court. Jalen Brunson shaking up Andrew Nembhard. Brunson turns the goddamn ball over. Here comes Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton to Andrew Nemhard for three, and his money. The Knicks are in trouble. The Knicks are in trouble. 63-75. Here comes Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges crossing half court, met by Tyrese Halliburton. 7:03 to go in the third. 63-75. Indiana. OG dumps it down to Karl-Anthony Towns. He's posting up Siakam. Towns on Siakam, and he couldn't convert it. Indiana gets it. Here goes Tyrese Halliburton. Here we go. They're going all the way to the cup. Three ball. Oh, my goodness. This guy, Thomas Bryant, is going to lead the Indiana Pacers to the NBA Finals. It's 63-78. I can't take this. The Knicks gotta survive. This is horrifying. This is ridiculous, y'all. The New York Knicks got nobody but themselves to blame. I just don't get this. I'm just pissed the hell off right now. The New York Knicks, man, they're about to end this season. This is ridiculous, man. I'm just very pissed off that the Knicks about to blow their whole entire season. This is horrifying. How did the Knicks end up in this tragic situation? That's the $1 million question. How can the Knicks do this? But like I said, all season long they've been coming back from crazy deficits. So can they do it one more time to save their season, or is over with? Nonetheless, man, no matter what, they had a hell of a year. I will say that. Um, just give them credit. I mean, this is just crazy. I'm just very mad that basically these guys are gonna blow the NBA season like this. It all started when they blew game one. They got nobody to blame but themselves, for blowing game one. This is crazy. The Knicks, man. This is bad. This is horrible. But I will tell you this: no, if they lose tonight, you know what you got to do. You got to get deeper. You got to get a deeper team. It seemed like he was able to figure out what was going on with Boston, but when it comes to Indiana, you got to get a deeper bench. You got to get your whole 10-man rotation got to be solid. You got to be able to bring people in and out. That's quality, because that's what these teams do as you get closer and closer to the championship. Because you look at Oklahoma City. If you're having problems here with Indiana, what the hell you think is going to happen when you see Oklahoma City? So they're going to be playing all kind of people. So the Knicks know what they have to do going into next year. That they got the path. So can they succeed? Only time will tell. This is crazy. Let me know if you think the Knicks will somehow save their season. Here we go. Let's see. 63-78. Salute to everybody in the chat. And here goes Jalen Brunson. He has it. He's inbounding it. Um, he's met by Andrew Nemhard. Jalen Brunson crossing half court, gives it to Mikal Bridges, Tyrese Halliburton all over him. 6:30 to go in the third. Mitchell Robinson back to Mikal. Mikal going baseline to OG Anunoby for three, and his money is 66-78. The New York Knicks down 12. 6:10 to go in the third. Here goes Nemhard. Nemhard has it. Screen coming with Obi Toppin. Nemhard kicks it to Obi. It's a turnover. Knicks force a turnover. Mikal Bridges going all the way to the cup, and he scores it. It's a 10-point game. It's 68-78. The New York Knicks cut it to 10, but Thomas Bryant, he nearly scores it, but he misses it. The Knicks get another stop. Here goes the New York Knicks, screen and roll. Here goes Jalen Brunson, gives it to Karl-Anthony Towns for a score. The Knicks forced the Indiana Pacers to call a timeout. It's 70-78. 5:47 to go in the third. The New York Knicks continue to knock and knock and knock at the door. That's all you can ask. If you're a New York Knicks fan, if you're gonna go out swinging. That's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for. Yeah. Salute to all y'all that's in the chat right now. It's Flight Sports TV. Testing says this is the first Eastern Conference. It's the first Eastern Conference together. The Pacers have been. The Knicks will be back. Well, we don't know that just yet. Don't say that the Knicks are just going to be back. There's no guarantee that the Knicks are just automatically going to be back in the finals, in the conference finals, or even having a chance. You got teams that never make it, and that's a serious problem. The Knicks could be one of them teams that never make it back to the conference finals. So we can't just guarantee that. So salute the testing. You already know what it is. It is 70-78. Oh, my bad. Good. Thank you, Tessa. You said I was muted. I appreciate you. Let me know if you can hear me. Yeah. Okay, I'm silent. Pause. Here we go. Deuce McBride. Tibbs won't be fired. You said, will Tibbs be fired? I can't. You can't say that. He brought the team all the way to the conference finals. That's disrespectful. To say be fired. Not yet. I think next season When you go into next year, then he'll be more on the hot seat. If he blow next year, then of course it's time for a new voice. Tibbs brought him to the promised line. Now it's time for somebody to take him across the finish. So that's gonna be what happens. Mike Malone, maybe the Knicks. That's a good job. Somebody might want to take the New York job. But this is crazy. This is gonna be a hard game for the Knicks to win. It's not impossible. It's 406. They need to really do something in this 406. Don't just go into the fourth quarter down 15 or 20 and think you're just gonna come all the way back. Right now, cut it to 5. Go into the fourth quarter down 7. Do something. Get it to single digits. Period. That should be key. For the New York Knicks. So let's see what happens, man. They make a series of mistakes. It just don't make no sense. It's 71-82. Here we go. 4 minutes to go. Josh Hart has it. Pascal is all over Hart, harassing him. They give it out to Brunson. Brunson has it. Brunson met by Nembhard. Nembhard. Come on, man. That was a foul. Come on. This is ridiculous. They hacking and all kind of shit out here. Brunson gonna have to pick it up. Nembhard. The Knicks, we got to beat them at least once. Now, how the hell the Knicks even get down 11? This is bad. Hart says, who's winning the game? For Indiana is 71-82. Knicks down 3:46 to go in the third. This is tragic. That's all I can tell you. This is bad. Can the Knicks survive? Man. Here goes Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges inbounding. He kicks it to Mitch. And the Knicks nearly turn the ball over, and they do. Knicks get a turn. Knicks turn the ball over, man. This is silly basketball. 3:40 to go in the third. Here goes Thomas Bryant. They dump it out. Oh my goodness. TJ McConnell hits a 3. It's 71-85. The next season is flashing right before our very eyes. Is all she wrote. This is just disgusting. What has took place right now for the Knicks? How could they allow something like this to happen? Oh my goodness. This is tragic. Pascal Siakam to Nembhard. Back to Siakam. Siakam in the mid-range, and that's good. It's 71-87. Says Charlo won his fight. Yeah, shout out to Charlo. We're gonna get into some boxing. Here we go. Hart breaks a 3. Nasty. Siakam. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Josh Hart going over to the cup. And he scores it. Count it. 73-87. Coast to coast. Hart. That was a big time bucket from Josh Hart. 2:05 to go in the third. I don't know what's going to happen in this game. The Knicks look like they're trying to blow this whole damn series. That's the sad part. 73-87. 2:05 to go in the third. Who is going to win? Can the Knicks bring it back to MSG? We all know if we get it back home to the Garden, what time it is. Josh Hart at the line. Josh Hart missed a goddamn free throw. Here goes TJ McConnell crossing half court. 2 minutes to go in the third. They give it to Shepard. Shepard has it. He's running and gunning. That's what they're gonna have to improve next year. They're gonna have to bring in better players than Wright and Shamit and all these other people. They're cool for now. But here we go. They can't do nothing with Siakam. Siakam always getting good looks. This nigga always wide open. Neesmith to McConnell. Thomas Bryant. How they got Thomas Bryant out here going crazy? Uh-oh. Slim says Brunson holding the ball is killing. Yeah. But can you take him out the game in the fourth quarter in the clutch? It's gonna, unfortunately, the ball's gonna have to die in his hands. They better figure it out. Fourth quarter, season on the line. Brunson brought us here. You can't just trash the guy who brought you there. But like I said, they taking him in and out the game, so they will do what's right. So give him props. There we go. Thomas Bryant with it. Thomas Bryant, they kick it to McConnell. McConnell going all the way to the cup. McConnell gives it to Siakam. Knicks steal the ball. It goes right. What happened? Oh, the Knicks, what, they stepped out of bounds? Come on. Knicks down 12. I said the Knicks need to cut it to, at least single digits going into the fourth quarter. I mean, that would have been ideal, in any event. There goes Halliburton. Halliburton crossing half court. Halliburton met by Dylan Wright. Halliburton with it. Screen coming with Obi. Halliburton kicks it back to Obi. Obi for three. Obi scores a three. It's 75-90. Knicks on the ropes. Here goes Hart. Hart tried to dunk on Obi Toppin. He should have just hit it off the backboard. Hart is down. Josh Hart took forever to get up. But a lot of people talk about a rivalry, with the Pacers. The Knicks ain't never beat the Pacers. You gotta think they beat us last year. It look like they're gonna beat us this year. I mean, shit, we've never beat the Pacers. At this point, we gotta retool and get them. They got to be able to run and gun and do something. I don't know what it is going to take. Maybe sign Drew Holiday, bring him off the bench, start him. I don't know, something. They got to do something. Yeah, they'll bench away. That's what they have to do. They got to figure out the whole rotation. Because as you get deeper into the finals, that's what it's going to take. And it's probably gonna be a better series, knock on wood. Hopefully the Knicks, you never know, they do something crazy and come back. But in all likelihood, you know, Indiana and OKC, that might be a good series. You're gonna have all kind of players out there, you know, all these different styles. Nemhard on Shea. That's gonna be a good series. You know, if that was if it all goes down like that, you know, the best team is gonna win. Knicks find themselves in a crazy deficit, down 15. You know, you're supposed to cut it under 10. It's like they run it up damn near 20. And Josh Hart at the free throw line. Let's see if he can cut it to 13 with these two free throws. Josh Hart makes the first free throw. 76-90. 30 seconds to go in the third. Knicks got serious problems on their hands. I don't know how they got themselves in this deficit. 77-90. It goes OG. I'm going to say Obi. Here goes Tyrese. Uh-oh, turnover. Tyrese turned it over. Oh, my goodness. Come on, New York. What kind of bitch play was that? Josh Hart went up like a bitch. And Tyrese come back down and dunk it. 77-92. That was a hell of a possession right there. Shoot it. 77-92 going into the fourth. The Knicks in trouble. I don't know what to say about the New York Knicks, but this is just disgusting. I can't believe the Knicks find themselves in this horrifying situation. Yeah, shout out Music Mindset. I appreciate you. This Knicks shit is crazy, man. The Knicks they blew their season. You know, it's all gonna come down to that game one. They shouldn't even be in this situation. That's the sad part. That's why they got nothing but themselves to blame. They should be up in this series. This series should be, like I said, this is crazy. We should have had Indiana on the ropes. Everything, for some reason, everything got all twisted. This is disgusting. Slim says, I hope the Pacers play like this BS Thunder. Oh, versus the Thunder. Oh yeah, we're gonna see. If it's the Thunder, I mean, this is gonna be a good series if it's Indy. I'm still not ready to concede, and I'm going down with the New York Knicks when this fucking clock hits zero. You know, then we'll start talking about the Pacers versus the Thunder. But you know, if that was to happen, that would be a good series because you got a lot of different no names all over the place. You know, it seems like um, Indiana, they got a lot of different no name players coming in and out of the bench and all kind of stuff. And I think they'll be able to matchup with OKC with a lot of different guys that they play. And the OKC play their bench too. And they don't. What I will say about Oklahoma City is they not the best 3-point shooting team. You know, so everybody look at OKC like they bulletproof. You know, Number one, this is bad anyway because we rock with LaMelo anyway. So to be honest with you, to see this happen, I mean, this is ridiculous. If I'm LaMelo, I'm requesting a trade. This is bad. Tyrese Halliburton gonna fool around and mess around and win the championship, and look what he got over there. This guy LaMelo got a bunch of idiotic coaches, and this guy got Rick Carlisle. The old reliable Rick Carlisle. So it's just this is bad. This is bad. I'm just disgusted with the New York Knicks right now. I wonder how long they're gonna leave Brunson on the bench. Here goes right, TJ on him. There goes Shamit, OG. See, there's like they having trouble finding some offense. Karl-Anthony Towns, you got to shoot it. And Karl-Anthony Towns scores it all the way to the cup. Cat all the way to the cup. 11:25 to go on the fourth. TJ McConnell. Knicks force a turnover. Let's go. OG Anunoby is 81-92. Next fight like hell. It says Rom look like he don't want to be there no more. He coaching to lose. Who? The Knicks shouldn't be. I'm just mad that the Knicks even got themselves in this position. This is horrifying. The Knicks got to get some stops. This is my bad. Quick glimpse of looking ahead. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm not ready to concede. It's not over yet. But it's definitely not looking good. This gonna be a tough game, man. Can the Knicks survive this game? That's gonna be the $1 million question. Who will prevail? Can the Knicks prevail? We're still on commercial break. They're playing well now. Carlisle, smart timeout. They're playing a lot of different people. They're bringing in 6 people off the bench. Knicks bringing in 1, 2, 3, 4. They didn't bring in that many people today. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna match up better than people think if they was to face Oklahoma City. They're gonna be able to match up and get pretty decent. They're gonna test out people like Chet and all them dudes. But I like Hartenstein. You gotta know Hartenstein was a New York Knick. So I'm very pissed off about that. So the Knicks, you gotta really look at what the hell just happened. You got your players scattered around every goddamn team, in the league that was in the postseason. This is bad. Julius Randle, DiVincenzo, like you need them people. Like DiVincenzo saved so many games last year. Yeah, I know that we got Cat. When you start to look at Hartenstein, damn, did we have to lose him? It's just a lot. We could have had a decent big man rotation, and then we may have been able to stop a guy like Siakam. Hartenstein leading them to the finals. So this is just crazy, and this is wild. Here we go. And you just gave Obi Toppin to Indiana. You supposed to send Obi Toppin out west. What the hell you sent you? Why the hell would you trade him to the Indiana Pacers? That was just retarded. And then look what's going on. You got to deal with him. And his team possibly going to the finals. This is bad. You're gonna have to play him for years to come. You should have sent him out west. This is bad. We got to get back to old school basketball, how they did things. Dylan Wright, don't just chucking up shit. Knicks can't get nothing in the basket. There goes TJ McConnell, 10:30 to go on the fourth. McConnell with it. McConnell gives it to Siakam. Siakam has it. Siakam putting the moves on right. They got no answer for Siakam. Pacers turn it over. Knicks force a turnover. Let's go. Hey, oh man. Chad says, flight was good, fam. It's your boy Chance. Salute, bro. It's been a while, fam. Boy, LOL. Hope you and life is all great. Yes. Shout out to my man Chance in the building. It's been definitely a long time. The New York Knicks trying to survive this game. Only time will tell. This is bad. That the Knicks find themselves in this situation. It's 83-92. Can the Knicks survive? Oh my goodness. Oh, this guy right chucking up shots. The Knicks kills us. God, how can the Knicks find themselves in this crazy position? This is terrible business for the New York Knicks, man. They keep sending them to the fucking free throw line too. It's a series of mistakes, that's taking place right now for the New York Knicks. It's not just one. It's 50 million to be honest with you. Here we go. Brunson back in the game. They finally bringing in Brunson. Brunson with it. Nemhard on him. Shaman for three off. They just letting these dudes chuck up shots. Here goes Obi. TJ McConnell, he was wide open. They lucky he didn't make that. Thank God he missed. Here goes Brunson. Karl-Anthony Towns. Man, that's a serious hack. It was Neesmith. Is he down? Was he finally down? Neesmith always look like he injured and he's not. This is crazy. It's 9:12 to go. It's 83-94. This is ridiculous right now for the New York Knicks. This is disgusting. Can they survive? That's the key. Neesmith is hurt. That's what I'm saying. The Knicks need every break they can get. You holding on to that knee. Let's hope that he worry about the finals. They want to set him again. They start thinking about the finals. They ain't gonna make it to the finals. They gotta hop back on that flight to New York. 9-12 to go. 10. Let's see, we can't. All these missed free throws too. The Knicks missing 150 free throws. Here we go. Tyrese with it. Tyrese going over to the cup. Andrew Nemhard. Oh, Nemhard, step back mid-range. Good. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Knicks season is over. It's 84-96. Tyrese Halliburton trying to calm down Nemhard. This is horrifying. He won't let Brunson breathe. Cat, 86-98. Yeah, you're going to have to give it to Cat. We're going to have to do whatever the hell we got to do. They're calling everything in the favor of the Pacers. Knicks can't get a break. Can they somehow make a late charge and get back in this? That's going to be the $1 million question. It's 86-98, 750 to go in the fourth quarter. I got Tyrese Halliburton with it. Tyrese Halliburton kicks it to Bridges. Tyrese with a floater, and that's money. It's 86-100. It's definitely looking sad for the Knicks. Brunson going all the way to the cup, and he scores is 88-100. Obi Toppin. They can't stop Obi. It's like Carlisle keeping Obi in on purpose just to rub it in. The Knicks just gave this guy away for nothing, too. Like, they got nothing in return from him. This is horrifying for the New York Knicks. Horrifying. Here we go. Miles Turner to Tyrese Halliburton to Turner. Turner scores it in the paint. Knicks are finished. Yeah, the season is on life support. Cat. Knicks got to be careful. I was seeing reports about possibly Knicks trading Mitchell Robinson, to the Lakers or something like that. I wouldn't do it. I'm keeping Mitch. I'm keeping Cat. You got to fix this bench. It's 89-104. Can the Knicks make one last gasp effort? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen now. It's 89-104. There goes Cat. Cat scores it 90-104. Tyrese Halliburton with it. Met by Mikal Bridges. Tyrese Halliburton shaking and baking. Tyrese Halliburton screening. Halliburton with a floater, and that's money. Oh, man, we're in trouble. Brunson, he scores it. 92-106. Tyrese with it. Knicks on life support. Knicks season on life support. Cat for 3. That's a lazy 3. OG. Thank you. Cat went up down. Now they about to start chucking. They got nobody who can guard Tyrese Halliburton.
It's trash, man. Trash.
Yeah, the Knicks are finished. I'm done with the New York Knicks. What the hell happened?
Damn.
Explain.
When they first had signed Brunson, I've been saying they ain't gonna win with him. But this year, he been like, damn, like they did their part. They in the conference finals, and they get the Pacers, who everybody feel like is one of the weaker of the top 4 seeds. And it's like, shit, they look like they're the weakest 3 seed ever. Not ever, I can say that because they good into the
Nah, you can't sleep on the Knicks. The Knicks blew game 1. I mean, that's what put them in this hole. If they win game 1, this series looks completely different.
The problem was the Knicks ain't got more than one person that can consistently get a bucket. That's the real problem. Because look what Cat doing. Cat going off last game. This game, last time I looked at him, like 4 for 13.
Knicks should be
The
up
game before
3-1 right now.
You're paying OG all that money, and all he's doing is being a defender. Yeah, he had a little moments we hitting the 3 ball or whatever, but shit, he ain't getting the bucket when they need him. Like these little drops that y'all going on, it's because y'all don't got nobody other than Brunson getting the bucket. Brunson can't even Halliburton get wherever the fuck you want to get, whether that's on Brunson or whoever they switch off on. They like the matchup between him and Cat, not just him and Brunson. Like shit, they be searching for Cat too.
Yeah, you're right about that. Cat had a good year too. I mean, he was playing good in the playoffs. I mean, this team Nemhard for 3. Yeah, he scored. That's over. Yeah, they just better than us.
I wouldn't say bad. I'll say they better coached than y'all. That's for sure. Cause Siakam do got a chip. Siakam good. Siakam can. I mean, he ain't one of them threatening to give you 40 points a night and no shit like that, or 30 points in a night. But shit, he's solid. He still do his part. He still come to play. He don't really be having none of them super bad nights. Like he ain't have one of them 4 for 13 nights in a big game like Cat had.
Man, the Knicks should
But
be
the Knicks got
ashamed.
the most talent. Like y'all just got more talent. Like defensive talent, y'all superior. Y'all got the better offensive talent as far as individual players. It's like y'all got everything that's on y'all side to win a championship. But it's like I know it's like when the whole team got a hoop, like the Pacers force people to
Yeah, I
the
mean that
entire
is true.
team.
Halliburton going to the finals. We in the chat talk. We continue to talk about LaMelo. You know, it's gonna be hard pressed. You know, we got a guy who's on the verge of winning the championship, and I like their chances in the finals. I'm gonna put my pick in now. I got the Indiana. If this game is all concluded, if it goes down, I'm taking the Indiana Pacers in the NBA Finals. You know, point blank period. I like the Pacers over the Thunder. I think the Thunder is not as good as people think. I don't think they've seen the defense that takes place in the Eastern Conference, and I think Shea he's gonna be caught by surprise. They got the defenders. You know, they ready for him. You know, and you're gonna see.
I mean, OKC kind of built their team on defense too now. Like their team built on defense first.
Yeah, they
Like
play. I mean, listen, I know. I don't know
they
if they
give a,
play the style
I
like
feel like they give a
Indiana
better
just yet.
look. I feel like they
Indiana
give a
gonna be
better.
able to play that small ball style. They're gonna be able to. They're gonna be able to match up with Chet.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
you
they're
got
gonna
to
be
think
able to
about it.
match up with how they want to do things. So, what I
OKC
will
can
say
go.
is, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
What's the difference between okay, they got these big time defenders in Williams and Dort, and what's the difference between what they just faced with OG and Bridges? You know, so if those dudes don't, are they really that much? You know, we'll have to see. You know that they really that much superior than Bridges and OG. I just don't see it. You know, and I think that unless Shea is just going to be the best player on earth, then that's all she wrote. But I think that he's gonna get caught by surprise, and you're gonna see. You know, don't let Indiana roll in there and take game one. You know, so I mean, you'll see.
I
They
mean, but
well
see you.
coached. They well coached.
Yeah,
You know,
I feel like that right there gonna be the battle. The coach and the Indiana Pacers, Rick Carlisle and OKC coach. I don't know why I keep forgetting his name, but though that's what we're gonna come down to. Both coaches good at using like random players on the roster to their scrims. So when they in the game, they ain't doing nothing that's you asking them to do too much type shit or whatever. But OKC, I feel like OKC give you the same look. OKC can give you the same look Indiana can give you defensively. OKC can give you the same defensive intensity as far as like individual defense or whatever as a New York
right.
Knicks. And I feel like when it comes down to because if you really look at the game, the Knicks had a couple of these games in the bag being up by 20. First game up by 20. Second game up by like 15, 20 at one point, if I'm mistaken. And even another game in the series, they've been up by 20 now. The Pacers come back. So that's 3 games right there. If they had their closer or they had somebody who can get them over the hump or whatever at the end of the game or whatnot, ain't but so tired or whatnot, they probably would have won the game. I know as like shit, we can't do nothing now and shit not happen, but I don't see like Shea don't have them nights when Shea just like all like 2 or 3 games of the series he dropped 18 points or some shit like that. Like Shea come to play every night. The rest of the cast offensively might teeter totter or whatever, but they still show up defensively. The Pacers ain't gonna see. The Pacers ain't got nobody that you can hide. Like when you look at what they doing, like players running now with Halliburton and Toppin. You only get that because Brunson is a liability or somebody on the court's a liability because now you got to overstretch 3 other players because mind you now, Cat don't really play defense. Cat need help with damn self. Cat can be a big body by the rim, but they overextended for Cat too to a certain extent. And they already overextended for Brunson. So by the time you want OG or you want McCall Bridges to play one-on-one defense with anybody or Halliburton or whatnot, they gotta look for the pick. They got to look for the switch, and they got to exert energy on that end just to stop them. After already exerting more energy, helping out 2 other players on the court that they got to help defensively. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Now Brunson do take on a bunch when it come to offense, so you kind of give him that. But what Cat can't go missing like that at the end of games. Not at the end of the game. Cat can't go missing like that throughout a series. Cat
Do
should be
you
the one in this series averaging 30 a game because he got the mismatch all over the court. Siakam too small, and Turner ain't a defensive big, so he can do whatever you want to do with Turner, but he rather shoot because Cat is a bench. My bad. Cat is a
Yeah.
bench.
So, if Indiana looks like they're gonna win the game, what do you who you got in that series in the finals? Do you think they can beat the Thunder?
I think they can beat the Thunder, but I don't see them beating them in 7 games. That's the only thing. I don't see Thunder losing 3 games. I mean, I don't see Thunder losing 4 games. Like the Thunder been good. Even last year, they had a shot to make it to the finals. The problem was they running the Kyrie and Luka. Because that been a good series, even though we beat them in I think 5 or 6. Even a good series every game. But like we were blowing them out. It was like a blowout game back and forth. The first 2 games I want to say. But other than that, like shit, they played the Mavericks the best. Out of the Clippers in the first round, they didn't play as good. The second round, we got play OKC. They've been a good game, and then we play Ant them in the conference finals. Ant them been doing nothing. Ant them tied. So that's why I say when I look at this right here, like shit. I know, man. OKC been ready for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
saying for
over.
the last 2 years, last year and this year.
Next damn near down 20.
Yeah, they ain't want to play. Look at Cat.
99, 118. They had a good year though, man. The Knicks had a hell of a year, man. You got to give them credit. It's been a long time coming, for the Knicks. They
Obi
just got to
Toppin
keep.
going off.
They got to take steps. Last year you made it to the second round. This year you made it to the conference finals. Next year Boston is going to be in shambles. I'm pretty sure you're going to have to. It's going to be New York versus Indiana once again. And you know what you have to do. You got to improve that bench. You
Man,
got to get a deeper quality players all around the board. You got to get a 10, 11 man rotation deep. Not no BS players that you shaky on. Tibbs got to bring these guys in, and they're reliable. Not that
that's the problem.
they did too much adapting to Indiana. Now I think next year could be the next year. I'm not gonna make it seem like this year was a failure. Fire Thibodeau. They look what happened. And you got another thing. They blew game 1. So the Knicks very well should be going to the finals, but you fucked over game when that game was locked up, sealed in the bag, and you just pissed it off in a matter of seconds. So you got a lot to look at, here for the New York Knicks. But this season was far from a failure. They made a lot of progress. Now it's time to get some players around Brunson and Cat. Now you got Cat this year. And you see what happened. Now you got to get the players around them.
You got the players like they going to spend all that money on Bridges. They spend all that money on OG. Like you spend all that money on a backup center if you really want to keep it real. Not saying Mitchell got backup center talent and nothing like that. I just saying like based on how they playing, he's essentially a backup center. So I mean he's starting to play out because I think he's been out most of the year. So I think y'all been saying like him and Cat first time playing together in the playoffs. But is y'all paying him money too? And it's like, bro, you're paying Brunson. Everybody in the lineup getting paid, even Hart getting paid. Not saying Hart getting no bank breaking money, nothing like that, but Hart getting paid. Hart ain't producing offensively. Yeah, he can hustle. Yeah, he can rebound. Cool. What else? OG, same thing. Yeah, you can play defense. Yeah, you are a unique defender. But what else? Cat. Yeah, you can get hard. Yeah, you can give us 35 at different times. But when you gonna start being consistent? McCall Bridges, where the fuck you at all the series? I ain't not one game with McCall Bridges going off. Or one sequence of damn McCall Bridges hooping at all the series. And then you got Dubs who running 6-7 man deep. And then when he do want to extend the bench and go other players, he just not play some players and then replace them with 2 other players. It's like y'all stuck with the talent. Y'all got a good problem. Y'all stuck with talent, but y'all don't got a coach to put the talent in the right places. Y'all got a coach that think like the old school coaches. I'm gonna play my best 6-7 players. We gonna put them
Tyrese
up
just hit a
against you.
bomb. Tyrese just hit a bomb.
Yeah, like them more embarrassing them. Like the next time, put the whole fucking 12 down, 12-1 down, 12-7, and like them people about to celebrate in your face, like y'all look crazy. Mind you, now like, ain't like they down 3-1. I mean, ain't like they down 3-0. They down 3-2. One game, and you got a game 7 at your house. If you ain't gonna be offensively efficient, put somebody in the ass. The team ain't even tough. That's why I say you got to fire Tubbs. This ain't you can't keep wasting talent, a talented roster year after year after year. Because what they're gonna end up doing is they're gonna keep this same team. They're gonna keep Dubs. they're gonna run into the same issues that they run into this year in the playoffs, and then they're gonna start. You know why we need to let Tibbs go, and while we letting Tibbs go, we can't afford to keep this player and that player, so we're gonna try to make a trade and get some depth and blah 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 and build a team the way the new coach want them, and now y'all back to square one with an older whoever y'all keep, whether it's Brunson or whatever. Now they're a year older, a year or two older from what it is today. Get rid of the coach, find a coach that can put the talent together before y'all got to disperse it. Instead of waiting around and be like, well, Tibbs might get it done next year. Man, fuck all that. Like, shit, fuck all that. That's why, even though it didn't work out for the Bucks and Dame Lillard and whatever, that been smart for them to fire Adrian, I forget his last name, Adrian on the coach, and bring in Doc Rivers. Because if you thinking we got championship players and we got championship aspirations, we built for the playoffs. You don't want no first time head coach or inexperienced head coach in the playoffs to be coaching in the playoffs. I love with Doc Rivers because he ain't playing on the court to go down be up 3-1 and lose. Like, he ain't doing that shit. The player, like, we watch all them series, whether it's the Chris Paul series, where with the Clippers, when Chris Paul been getting hurt and they been blowing the series or whatnot. That ain't got nothing. Honestly, that ain't got nothing to do with the coach, but that ain't as much on the coaches as it could be on just the players and executing. When Chris Paul going down, we see exactly why I always say to this day, the Clippers Lob City was not a big three. So if it been a big three, Chris Paul going down y'all wouldn't lose the whole fucking series. Y'all all y'all needs one game. The other big two couldn't do that because they ain't been a big three, but it really been Chris Paul doing all that shit. But Chris Paul get the brunt of a lot of people blame, just like when he bought the Suns. Even Chris Paul, Devin Booker's an empty stat player. Put him with a Chris Paul type player. Let me take what you can do, and I'll put you right here. You can do this or whatever, and let the team play around that. And let me just control everything. You just do what you do good. Soon as Chris Paul gone, nothing. Same thing with Cat, Devin Booker, Zach LaVine. Shit, who else is empty stats? Shit, it's like 5 or 6 empty stats, quote unquote, stars in the league. The closest throwing De'Aaron Fox in there.
So I mean they're gonna give what's the name, the Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
Oh yeah, hell, you gotta get that.
Yeah, I see Tyrese, and yeah, that's good that Tyrese and Mikal, they all shaking hands. Mikal had to deal with Tyrese the whole series. Give Mikal some credit. I mean, Mikal gonna always be crucified because of all those picks, but he did the best he could. He's got to be a better scorer, though. I mean, like, come on. There was times where I thought Mikal should have scored right there. He bullshitted. So he got to
Listen,
go to the drawing
I know
board.
you remember. I know you remember me saying all this about the Knicks. Every time the Knicks had make a move over the last couple of years, I had a problem with it, but I had said something negative about it. When y'all get Brunson, I was saying, listen, Brunson can score, but he's still a smaller guard. Like, we could do defensively. You can't take over defensively, or you ain't got this offensive thing about you that it's like, okay, that needs to be on the court. It ain't gonna work with just you as a score, or whatever. They bring Bridges in. I've been telling people, like, this man is not a 25, 30-point a scheme score. It's easy. Not saying I don't use the word easy. Seeing players average 25, 30 points on a bad team don't do nothing for me. That don't make me believe that that's who they is. I ain't keep on saying anybody, but averaging 30 points or 25 points on a bad team is not impressive. If y'all saying he's a defensive stopper, okay, cool. He in New York. Who he stopping? Okay, cool. But if he can't, he still got he got a 3-ball, right? He can score, right? He 25 points a game, and now Brooklyn before they trade for him. He get over this shit. I don't even know. I wouldn't be. Don't get me wrong. If you're a good defender, you probably ain't supposed to have your name called over and over and over. But at the same time, it's like, damn, y'all watch it, Brunson. He can't stop a motherfucker. He can't stop them without fouling them. He barely in the game because of the fouls. And when he get in the game, it's like, it's the same thing. Let's run a bunch of picks around each other to get the ball to Brunson. Once Brunson get the ball, he run from one side of the court to the other side of the court to try to find a matchup, and then he start attacking. It's the same shit every way down. Like, Tibbs ain't got no offensive acumen. He ain't got nothing in his body to say, you know what, let's start running these.
That's
And that's
fair.
the problem when you got a good coach. A good coach will find a way to use the talent. They'll find a way to mold the talent into a winning program instead of, oh, You can play defense, or you can play defense, or you can play defense, or you can play defense. Come on, let's go. Like Kemba Walker when he coming down the Knicks. I ain't saying Kemba will come to the Knicks and just start dropping 30 a game or no shit like that. But Kimba's Brunson is not saying they're two different levels. I feel like Brunson's a better scorer. So don't take this as me trying to say they're the same level player or whatever. But if them's that let Kimba do the same shit that he let him Brunson doing, and he can't stop Brunson. If it's up for him, he wouldn't let Brunson be the way he is right now. As far as like, he probably wouldn't even want Brunson on the team if ain't for Brunson having family members in the front office and all that. They probably forced this shit on him, and he's just making it do what it do. He said, we bringing Brunson in there, and he probably look at it like, if y'all bring Brunson, I need some defenders. And that's when they start making these moves for OG, for McCall Bridges, and they try to put a defensive unit together. Because Dubs can't mold talent to win. There's no one way of winning, and they always, we've been like that for years. You only know one way of winning. Let's put our best out there, and every time they put their backups in, their backups ain't going against other backups. They're going against our starters. So even if we tying up with their starters, by the time they bring their backups in, our starters should take over their backups and beat their backups at least 5 to 10 point margin when they in the games at all times. At that point, we just need to be around hitting shots. That shit work in a regular season when ain't no scouting down reports and shit, but once you get in the playoffs, like, you playing the same team for almost 2 weeks. You don't think they know all that? That's the problem. The Knicks got a coaching issue. People want to dance around the subject, but that's a coaching issue. And man, they ain't making no real adjustments. We seen the same shit we see since game 1 with the Knicks. Hoping Cat turn up. Hoping Cat get have a hot night. There's a difference between being a big man that can shoot and being a star or being a superstar or being a go-to guy. At this point, Cat is a nigga who can shoot, a big dude who can shoot. He ain't blocking shit. He ain't stopping shit. He ain't making shit happen for nobody else. Like, would you look at Cat as a center or power forward?
Power forward. He should be a center though.
Exactly. He should be a center, but he's too fucking soft.
Yeah, that's the problem. He needed to go to the paint. The only reason why he started to go to the paint because they was actually having success. Like, stop shooting. Take your ass to the paint. That's when we started really doing what we needed to do.
Bro, Cat 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot. Mitchell Robinson 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot. That alone is a problem for a lot of teams to go against. Just the size. Forget if they're shot blockers or not. Just the size. Pause. And then on the other end, offensively, is like a lot of teams ain't running out that fucking a 4 and a 5 that's over 16 and above. Y'all should have the offensive rebounding advantage, the defensive rebounding advantage. Y'all should have the lob advantages. Y'all should have all these different advantages of other teams. But y'all 4 who's supposed to be a 5 too soft to play the 5, so he got to move to the 4. And the 5 that y'all bring in, he's solid defensively, but he ain't gonna really give you nothing offensively.
Is it fair that people want to fire Tibbs?
100% Phil.
Really?
100%.
Why?
Tibbs don't make it the same reason why people be mad at Doc Rivers for getting these jobs is the same reason why people should be mad at them for keeping us. Doc Rivers know one way of winning. His way can win, but Doc Rivers need the actual talent because he's a coach. He know how to mold a talent to be a winner. But if he don't got the talent, he ain't gonna make no adjustments. He ain't gonna really do nothing that affects the game from a coaching standpoint. Like when you look at Spoelstra, the Heats don't have no. When the last time Heats had a flamethrower, like someone who can go get a bucket other than Tyler Hero? And every year Miami Heat compete with people because he know how to draw up. He know how to get people in a position they need to get into so they can score. Bam can't do nothing offensively, but the position he get put in, you would think he a decent offensive player when he really trash offensively. He coaching matters. That's why I said. Well, moment we were talking about Charlotte with Borrego, All y'all been getting on Borrego saying he needed to be gone and all that shit there. Borrego's a good coach. He just ain't had the talent. He a good developmental coach. He just ain't had the talent to be winning. But he's still been doing decent enough for them boy to get the a playing position, even though I don't respect the playing position shit. But them playing decent enough to get that. Now you look at Halliburton down in the finals. Ant down but in the 2 conference finals. If LaMelo ain't on the clock this season or if a trade don't happen, he like at some point they can start looking at LaMelo like a gadget player. Like, oh, he just sell tickets. But yeah, all that to say Dubs need to go.
No, this is BS. It's messed up. Now I'm watching the Indiana Pacers get the trophy. They got Reggie Miller right there with them.
Yeah. See, Reggie Miller did the same shit. Yeah, finish the job now.
Well, that's crazy.
This shit look funny as hell watching the Pacers go to the finals.
Caitlin Clark at the game. They keep showing the camera on Caitlin.
I ain't gonna lie. Somebody would have bet me some money and say the Pacers gonna be in the finals. Boy, listen, I'd have said the Knicks before I said the Pacers. I'd have said the fucking Heat before I said the Pacers. But shit, all that cardiac cat shit ain't gonna work next round. Huh?
The Knicks have nobody but themselves to blame.
Yeah. And that's why I say if you won't blame yourself, where you start at? You gotta change something. So where you gonna change? You can't change the roster around because that's a lot of money when you move it around. And if you move, like think about it, even if let's say they'd be like, okay, cool, we gonna trade Josh Hart and a future first for KD. You bring offensive in, but he ain't necessarily give you no help defensively. And you still got Cat who also ain't gonna give you nothing defensively. You're just gonna have a long team with one real defensive perimeter stopper. Well, 2 because OG and McCall. But then that means shit, who you pushing out the lineup or who you pushing down the lineup? Let's say you trade OG in a pick or whatever and get another player that can get a bucket. I don't think Kevin Durant put this team over the top. If you taking OG off, OG keep y'all in a lot of these games that throughout the playoff, like I'm not playoff throughout the which game that button? The first game, matter of fact, he going off from 3. And I think the second game he been hitting some 3s. So even though the shit ain't matter because they still losing them, but like shit. But yeah, you got to look at the coach. I mean, the coach is the easiest thing to remove from a basketball team to not mess up the chemistry. That's why when the Nuggets get rid of Malone, Nuggets ain't but a team that we had look at them like, oh, they ain't got a chance this year. People still thought they had a chance even when they damn fired the coach because they understand when you got a certain level of talent on your team, you just really need somebody to put them in place. They give Dubs a chance. Dubs had 2 years. Last year, the teams get in, the players get injured. OG been was that OG that get injured? I think he get injured last year. This year they been a healthy squad. Well, they ain't really get healthy until the playoff because Mitchell Robinson ain't played. Well, Cat till the playoffs start, they like shit. They had an adjustment period to get together to learn how to play together. But Dubs don't give a fuck about that. Dubs just trying to. And his mind is like, I won't take my best and I won't beat your team. So if you want to run 10 deep, well, them other 5 better have some type of talent because when they get.
Oh, wait a minute. Tell me how Pascal Siakam won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
I'm mad at that.
You know how they always got to do some funny shit.
Yeah.
So why he's not a superstar? He is not a superstar. This adds to that stupid debate they keep fucking with him with.
And I don't know why even the debate because he ain't a superstar. How hitting big shots in the playoffs don't make you a superstar? Like that shit has never made you a superstar. And like I say, I say like I just say, but like I always say, it's really only like 2 or 3 real superstars. Because superstar
I ain't gonna lie. They played Tyrese.
I don't think so because I
Tyrese
mean, what he
Halliburton
really
should have
did.
won that. I'm not. He should have won the finals, Eastern Conference Finals MVP because that first game one, he had a perfect fucking game. What was it? The other game? I mean, he was playing good. I mean, how much more did the motherfucker need to do?
I mean, the first game ain't been him at all. He had a bad game the first, but I didn't say a bad game, but he had an average game the first
Yeah, they
game.
did him dirty.
That been Nehemiah. I don't know. I mean, that been Neesmith in the first game. The second game, also he kind of did his thing. I feel like the game, even one game in the series that he has struggled. I won't say that's the game they lose against the Knicks. If you only play 5 games, it's like Siakam been playing consistent. Said every game Siakam been doing his thing. He just ain't been as loud towards the end as Holly is. Like I said, but we were watching the game that night. I said, even though Neesmith been the one that won the game, that image of Holly doing that choking shit, that's all they're gonna talk about. When people remember the Knicks collapse, they ain't gonna remember it been Neesmith unless they watch him. They gonna think Holly did all them shit. They gonna think, oh yeah, remember that game Holly Burton come back from game one when he had come back from like 20 points in like 2 minutes. That's all they gonna think about. But like I said, when you watch Siakam, like I mean, he playing decent. Let's see his box score. Them boy down fuck around, let the goddamn Pacers in the door. And the crazy thing about it is like shit. That one game they won, they had won that in Indiana or they won that in New York. What is this game 5? This is game 6. Oh, they did win the last one in New York. But shit, at least y'all can see y'all had a Eastern Conference Finals one in the last X amount of years. Shit, y'all future court sitting right there. Stan Van Gundy will make that roster work.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Oh my bad. My whole time I think my mic was just on mute. I said that I was listening to what they were saying. You know, they gave the did you tell me they gave the conference finals MVP to
Siakam.
Pascal Siakam? Did you hear when I said that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, I said they did him dirty on that one. But well, I was listening to Miles Turner. He was talking. Miles Turner was talking about basically it's been a long time coming. He's been there for 10 seasons. They never traded Miles Turner. You know, you always heard his name in trade rumors and all kind of shit. So that's why I said I hope that the Knicks they keep Mitchell Robinson because we drafted Mitchell Robinson. You know, we don't have a lot of players on the Knicks that we actually drafted. You hardly see homegrown talent anymore. So I hope that the NBA don't gift wrap Mitchell Robinson to the Lakers. That would just be disgusting.
Man, all the Lakers need to do is go and get fucking well, I mean, I'm about to say Brian Thomas, but I mean, I don't know if he gonna go back to LA. I feel like he's a good rotational center. Cause they had him they had signed him a couple of years ago. But like I said, they must use
Here's
him
your
like
big man. Here's your live threat.
uh but see,
No,
if
but
I the
seriously, I want
Lakers,
to ask you a question.
yeah.
What's up with LaMelo, man? It's like he getting lost in the shuffle out here, man. I think LaMelo should ask out.
I feel like at this point right now, with Halliburton going to the finals, like forget if he won them, forget if he lose them. Like just right now in this moment, I'm going to the finals. I feel at this point, if somebody want to have a debate on who the better player, it'll be hard to argue for LaMelo at this point. It'll be an actual debate now. Like before this, it's like now I ain't saying it like I believe that Halliburton better than now LaMelo, not like that. What I'm saying is seeing Halliburton on the stage and then you put LaMelo name next to him, it's like is they even now? It's like that's the even up thing. Like one is a winner and one is the better individual talent. That's how it's looking right now. So it's hard to say what's going on with LaMelo. All I know is just like you said, he getting separated from the pack. Ant down but there. Well, not the finals, but Ant down but to the conference finals. Halliburton going to the finals. It's like, and even though she in his class, she don't got this look of like you don't view she in the light of a Durant or like a Kyrie, like being around the age. And your mind like, okay, yeah, like he kind of in that little crop with like close to LaMelo or whatever, even though he a couple of years removed, but you're looking at all the young talent. This the face of the NBA being shaped right now. Just to get in where you fit in. Everybody up for debate now who can be the face. One day Ant, one day this person, one day that person. Like shit. You mean to tell me LaMelo ain't at least touched the conference final at least once in his career? He wouldn't be in that conversation?
I want to say another thing. People don't give credit. This is the last day for the TNT. Shout out to TNT inside the NBA. You know, I pretty much I grew up on that. I grew up on the NBC. I remember that too back in the days with Iverson, you know, when he went to the finals. But TNT, that's been synonymous inside the NBA. Today is the last day. Shout out to TNT Sports. I know they moving on. I want to talk about Stan Van Gundy. You know, I know that people don't like him and stuff. Yo, Van Gundy, this guy know basketball. I was listening to this guy talk during a lot of these games. His insight, his intellect is just on another level. You know, I think he got shitted on in New Orleans. I hope Van Gundy could get another job, but Stan Van Gundy need to coach a championship team. He can't coach a bunch of young players. You know, they never gave him a shot in New Orleans. You know, they shitted on him on his first day on the job. So, but Van Gundy knows basketball. I just wanted to give him a shout out because I liked his insight listening to him on the play-by-play.
I mean, that's why I just said earlier, like y'all looking at your future coach right there. Stan Van Gundy will do something with that roster. If the Knicks hire Stan Van Gundy right now,
You know what his brother did?
what's about to do? Oh, it's
Remember
come to
Jeff
assistant
Van
coach.
Gundy with Ewing?
We know what
You
you
remember,
want.
you remember his brother Jeff Van Gundy?
Yeah, Jeff. He assistant coach now somewhere in it.
Yeah,
Or
he with
consultant.
the Clippers, I think.
All right.
He used to be the head coach of the Knicks back in the day with Patrick Ewing.
And what happened with him, Patrick? Patrick got to get into it or something?
Huh?
Patrick, you ain't get into it or something?
Nah, I know he coached Patrick Ewing
Oh,
after Pat
you're
Riley
saying he
left.
coached him. All right. I mean, he said last year, like, man, listen, Stan Van Gundy, I feel like he, like in New Orleans, he never really been meant to be the coach. It's like I was saying with the Hornets, you got coaches that fit certain teams. It's like, you got coaches like Borrego. They good coaches. They understand the system they trying to run and they implement that system and they understand it ain't gonna all come together this year. It take years in the system and then once everybody buy in, then we can start forming out what fits and who don't want to fit and who whatever. And then once you get a roster to the point where they no longer young and developing, they actually consistent in their skills or consistent in their bright spots or whatnot. And it's like now that developmental coach can't really teach them how to get over that hump. They can't. It's like now you need a coach to come in and be like, okay, cool. This how winning teams do it. This how the big boys do it. You bring the adult and the one who go, okay, yeah, y'all don't get babysitting, whatever, and coaching up y'all's talent. Here we go. And sometimes it's that extra layer, like when the Lakers had to bring in Phil Jackson with Kobe to win them last two. It's like sometimes you might have a coach that's good enough to keep you as a good team, but You might also need that extra layer of a coach that can get you to the next level. And I don't feel like Dubs is that. I don't feel like who is the coach right now that I feel like I don't feel like JJ Redick that. I feel like JJ Redick one of them good coaches where it's like he can scheme up good players. He can scheme up play. He can scheme players. He understands basketball. He understands what needs to happen. He understands certain players with how they need to go. He understands from being a player aspect of coaching. So he will always be a decent coach as long as he got talent. But if you give JJ Redick a bottom barrel team with just regular talent, and you tell him I giving you 4 years, you control a draft and everything for 4 years, JJ Redick wouldn't know what the fuck to do. he'll be in year 2 or 3 still trying to figure out what the direction the team is. Cause he gonna start realizing different shit about the game. Dubs ain't learning a new game. It's new shit. Like ain't all us trying to be the greatest defensive lineup and have the wings. Man, that shit out the window, bro. Like you need to have some scoring. Dubs need to be out. Bring somebody in who can put McCall Bridges in favorable situations. Who can put Cat in favorable situations. Cause remember now, Cat used to play for was Dubs the coach when Cat first come in the league? If I'm mistaken.
Who?
By
Oh,
Minnesota.
Saunders.
No, but before Saunders, like when Dubs leave,
Saunders died.
but so who been the coach with Jimmy Butler been in Minnesota?
Tibbs.
And Cat been in Minnesota at the same time, right? Because he been
Yeah.
young with Wiggins and all that. Boom. That's a lot of talent. You had Cat, you had Wiggins. Shit, at one point you had D'Lo, and for all we can say about D'Lo, they had D'Lo at one point. Shit, but no, I think D'Lo come after. I don't know, but even taking out D'Lo, whatever, you had Wiggins and you had Cat. You had Jimmy Butler.
You
Who
should
else
have
was on that roster?
you should have had a squad.
Exactly.
They got
But the
him
thing
late
is
side.
he ain't the type of coach that can take talent and mold talent in the winners. He got a system, and that's what he gonna run. He need everybody to buy in, and if they don't buy in, they don't fit in. He don't mind benching a player that the team spent X amount of money on, unless it's Brunson. You can't stop Brunson. You can't tell Brunson, yeah, I don't think it's working out because you don't play defense. You could have did that with Kimba because they said, oh yeah, you got control, Dubs. But with Brunson, oh, that's hands off. You can no, but this we need something like this. Coach everybody else. Don't say shit to Brunson. Coach everybody else though. That shit ain't gonna work. You gotta get somebody in there. You gotta get somebody in there, bro. Like the defense already gonna be there. You already got the players. OG gonna play two sides of the ball. McCall gonna play two sides of the ball. Cat gonna try to shoot. You gotta move Cat some way. Cat gotta move to the five and get some. He gotta move to the five. He gotta give some disadvantage. He gotta be able to run a pick and roll pick and roll to the basket. I'm talking about like a rim runner to the back. He got to develop something because like that Cat move. I ain't high on that shit. I don't look at Cat the same way everybody's look at Cat. Cat will give somebody 35, 45 points, and people will be like, yeah, boy, Cat one of them. Cat is not one of them. Cat get hot. That's all that shit is. Cat supposed to be dominating the series. You got Miles Turner on you. You got Miles Turner and you got Siakam. You're too big for one. You're too quick for the other one. And you can shoot over the other one. And even in the paint, you should be able to go body to body pause with Miles Turner. Miles Turner is not a rim protector. Look, OG Toppin. Y'all had OG fucking Toppin
Yeah, Obi, they gave him away for nothing.
for nothing, and look what he did. Not saying that he been this takeover player, but he a good rotational player. Give excitement off the bench. He can roll to the rim as a love threat, and he hit a three. Not the seal game, but he hit a three this game. I just see like in, I think in the beginning of the fourth quarter, something like that, or like midway mark. I can't remember because when you a good coach, you understand how to use talent. We understand Obi ain't gonna be no, oh yeah, put him in a post, let him do his thing. No, he can roam around the dunker spot, put him at the three and let him dive to the basket, or let him get an open three. Like Dubs ain't done none of that shit. He just put him on a bench.
This is crazy. Knicks should be ashamed of themselves.
God
Game one
damn.
killed us, man. I'm
Man, I just
sorry.
see that that alley, Mitchell Robinson, that catch at the beginning of the game. Mitchell Robinson, like, he got some damn. I don't know. I just don't. He just be hurt so much, man. It's hard to really gauge his game.
Yeah.
Because he do look like he got a low lob threat in him. Like, he got a little more athleticism than I thought he had. He play kind of stuff. And see, like, if Obi is the one that get into the bucket and get him, man, listen, if OG that person, y'all already losing. OG should never be that person. Then when y'all do bring players in the game, ain't like y'all bringing the fucking flamethrower off the bench. Y'all bringing other motherfuckers that just are slightly taller than fucking Brunson and can play a little more defense, like McBride and shit. Like, y'all ain't bringing nobody important off the bench. Like, they can go out there and get like a Kevin Durant with this roster, but Kevin Durant have to come off the bench and he could throw everything off.
Yeah. This is crazy.
McCall Bridges must be tired as hell, boy, because I ain't hate him not one. Like, you know, like, even if a player go quiet in a series, he had like at least one low back and forth for one low 2-3 minute of oh, hey, boy, he been hooping. I ain't hate no one of them shit from Bridges. I mean, yeah, McCall Bridges.
Yeah, they need to trade him.
They gotta do something with him. Like, he ain't necessarily stopping nothing on the
You gotta
perimeter.
trade. You gotta turn him into Giannis. Fuck it.
Y'all should have been able to play one-on-one defense all across the board and let Brunson just have to die on it. But instead, y'all gotta. It's like the logical thing to do is trade Brunson for a slightly less better, a slightly less talented offensive player, but predominantly better defensively. Like a two-way player that who's a good two. Like, if you put Ant on this Knicks team, I know, man, because Ant be disappearing, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Ant disappointed me in that last series. Ant do be disappearing sometimes. And I don't want to just say shit because that's the obvious answer. That's the obvious chip.
The Knicks need to trade for maybe get Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe then that's not moving Brunson. You just getting another player, maybe coming off the bench to switch it up or playing alongside her. Move Hart to the bench. Hart don't give a fuck. What he do?
I feel like Hart getting is like I get it. Hart is a hustler. Like, Hart getting the rebounds. I get it. But Hart ain't necessarily elite defensively when he comes to perimeter. Like, he ain't like no perimeter defensive stopper or on ball. Like, he ain't one of those players. Like, you don't look at him, or I don't see players view him, or I don't see him doing nothing to lead me to believe that he on the court because he locked motherfuckers up. He on the court because he play hard. But when has been a player that just play hard, that's all you give into the game, win you a championship.
Yeah,
It's like, damn, like, I ain't fuck with Hart now, but it's like, that shit don't mean nothing. Shit, Cat need to be a rebounder. You shouldn't have to be doing all that shit. Cat need to fucking rebound.
yeah.
So, I mean, and I know people gonna look at it like, well, aim and Hart fault, but Hart ain't giving you nothing but heart at the end of the day. No pun intended. Rebounding, cool. We needed a rebound. But we got two damn near 7 feeters down here. Like, why you gotta be the one to do that? And fucking Neesmith them ain't scared to go at Hart. They got the miss and they mind. Brunson is a mismatch. Hart's a mismatch. Cat's a mismatch. Only people we need to fear defensively is OG and McCall Bridges. And them motherfuckers look gas because they gotta compensate for Cat lack of rim protection. They gotta compensate for Brunson lack of fucking perimeter defense. It's a whole lot. And then they got to run down the offense and expect it to be cutting and getting open for Brunson to make plays. It's like I'm looking at them right now, like, bro, just cut that shit in the middle, bro. Like, just shave the shit. Being redundant, like your offense, like your team, like your roster.
And I think that's the way we have to approach it, and that's the way we have to look at it. So
I'm listening to
improvement from last year, but it's ultimately not what our ultimate goal is.
He says improvement from last year, but it's ultimately not the ultimate goal.
Man, that boy said that to keep a job, man.
He got said he didn't keep his job.
He trying to. I don't know who he trying to convince, but he ain't convincing me of shit. He must be trying to convince honest. Like, hey, y'all, look at it. Look, see, we ain't been here last year. Now, remember last year we ain't been here. We ain't been here last year. Remember that part. Ain't nobody give a fuck about that. Like the window is closing after this year. You know how hard it gonna be to keep this team together.
Yeah.
So when you been saying like you don't look at the Knicks season this year as a disappointment, from a Knicks fan perspective, I can understand where you coming from. But from an outside perspective, seeing that okay, like you got 6 players that's tying up. Not saying that that's abnormal because they probably do that around the league, but it's like all that money you spend on this lineup, this roster, you make the trade for Cat, the trade for OG, the trade for McCall Bridges. Y'all going for broke, knowing that this shit gonna be busted down within 2 years. So y'all got 2 years to win a championship. You fucked the first year up with the injury. Y'all ain't count that. Year one supposed to be this year. Next year's a year of okay, cool. If we don't get him this year, shit gonna look crazy because I ain't dipping in no luxury tax for no team that ain't getting to the finals and winning that motherfucker. Like, damn. That's how he gonna look, and he gonna just bust the team up in 2 years. Well, after next year, he gonna just break the team up. Cause it's the Knicks now. The Knicks don't be getting nobody like that. Ain't nobody want to actually go play for the Knicks. Come when you drop 50 in the Madison Square Garden, that should look better when you come to the Doom than to be playing there in Doom. So I don't need to do, but shit. But I know I can tell you one thing. But no, I can't answer that because shit. I wonder how the Knicks would have looked if that been what a nigga name was Donovan Mitchell instead of Brunson.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm just still upset about game one. I know we're gonna talk about this and talk about that, but game one, that was it.
Yeah. As I remember watching that shit on the silver, like damn, like I've been trying to give y'all hope the whole game. I've been saying like, oh yeah, y'all got this. Oh yeah, cause Brunson come doing the fourth, and you been sitting there like, yeah, nah, I know. That's the Knicks. That's what the Knicks be doing, and they ass sure as shit stink. They ass lose. That shit crazy. But I didn't more say that's karma for beating up that fan
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
and being here and that. So you got you dead ass. You got the Pacers over
I
the
got the
Sixers.
Pacers. I got the Pacers over the Thunder.
That's crazy.
I like Indiana over Thunder. I always go with the underdog. You know that.
Yeah, that's how I kind of is too now. But it's like with OKC, I feel like since they're so young, they kind of not saying they us the underdog. They kind of underdog, but like I don't know, they got an underdog feel to them, boy. Like I don't mind Shea getting his first ring, getting that out the way.
They're
But like
gonna
I
have
said,
problems though. No, they're gonna have problems. And, well, they're gonna have serious issues because number one, you got to deal with um, they're gonna have Alex Caruso, Dort. You know, they got a lot of no name people. So Carlisle, like he threw a lot of no names out there. People like who the hell some of these guys he was playing? I forgot that dude name. The guy who got hurt, the big man who got hurt. This guy Thomas Bryant out there hitting threes. Like what the hell? So I mean, so I just like what they coming with OKC. So OKC is going to cause problems, but I think Indiana going to cause them some issues because Indiana going to be hitting the three ball, you know, and that's going to cause a lot of issues for them.
Yeah, that's the only hope Indiana got of winning a series is if they just be hot from three. Cause they're gonna have to
Mhm.
force Shea to have to shoot from the.
Everybody. But they're gonna have people to keep up with them. Like the Knicks had issues defending. The Knicks will go on these scoring droughts. That's not gonna happen with Oklahoma City. They're not gonna go on the scoring drought. You know, they're not gonna have all these issues defending. Everybody gonna be able to play one straight up basically. You know, and then Shea is just like that's gonna be the issue. I want to see what Nemhard could do with Shea. Shea's a little bit taller, a lot taller than what he was just dealing with. Shea's the MVP.
Yeah, and you dealing with a more complex score. Like with Brunson's, like you kind of understand what Brunson's trying to do. He's trying to get shifty. If he get a low space, he going out with that motherfucker. Like soon as he gets space, he going up, or he trying to get you to the bucket if he going his left. With Shea is like you really don't. You just know he ain't shooting the three ball when he coming down the ball. He got the ball at the top of the key. You know he trying to get a two ball going, and then he trying to get a foul. So you got to watch out from fouling him because even if he don't get some space, he gonna try to get him with that little elbow, that little kick, or whatever he do. He
Oh,
gonna do different things. Like he more a complex scorer than me than
what?
Brunson.
Sky said the Knicks don't play team basketball. That's why they're going home. I disagree with that.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I think that's how they team is. I think their team basketball is the defenders be the defenders and the offenders be the offenders. So Cat, you need to be offensively there for us. You ain't got to worry about defense. Brunson, you ain't got to worry about defense. Just be the offensively for us. And everybody else, we got to play some defense and play hard. We ain't got to worry about offense though. That's team basketball. If that's how you gonna win. But
Yeah.
in the sense of multiple players in the 20s or multiple players having a rock, I mean, in that regard, they don't play team basketball. But I mean, that's how the team is built. Nobody been saying that all year. Don't say it now that they losing the playoffs. I ain't hear not one person all year called Brunson the ball hog. I don't hear that like 5, 6 times in the last 2 days of him being the ball hog. I ain't hear that all season.
It's OKC plays team basketball. I could agree with that.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, they all play team basketball. The Knicks play team basketball too. They just ran into a hard team, man.
Yeah.
The Knicks had a hell of a everybody just want to crucify a team when they lose. The Knicks blew game one. The Knicks should be going to the NBA finals. I mean, come on. Let's be real.
And like you said, with the three ball is like shit. The Knicks don't really shoot the three ball as much. OKC don't shoot the three ball as much. OKC got to be on some shit like, listen, we got to control the game. We got to every time they miss one of them threes, we got to come down and we got to be more efficient. I feel like OKC can play whatever ball game anybody want them to play. It's just that three ball because they got some people that come up the bench and shoot like daughter
OKC
hit
is
some
the
threes,
favorite.
man.
Let me tell you, OKC is the favorite.
Yeah,
So they favored to win the series. I'm just going with the underdog.
yeah.
OKC very well could sweep this team. But I mean, I think it's gonna be more competitive than you think.
I usually go to underdog too. I just don't want it to be the damn. I don't know. I just look at it like I don't see like
Miles Turner he gonna have to be a Miles Turner versus Chet. That's gonna be a good one.
yeah, because like he got the size over. He got the size
Yeah,
over
that's what I'm
Chet.
saying. This probably wasn't the series
Yeah,
for him.
it's all
They ain't gonna
about
have to deal
matchup.
with Towns. Towns is barreling into the paint and all kind of shit.
Yeah. See now, I guarantee you, if the Knicks had gone to the finals, Cat probably would have averaged 40. Cat would have seen
I
Chet
don't
and
know.
be
They
like,
got Hartenstein out there. I don't know about 40.
yeah, no, but see, even with Hartenstein, you gotta think about it. Hartenstein is a good solid presence in the basket, but y'all got Mitchell Robinson back to play with him. So like Chet can't play on Mitchell Robinson because he gonna get out rebounded, out man, all that shit there, whatever. Plus, like Chet got the size of a 5, but he really a 4 and it's hard. So when he come to Cat gonna be backing down Chet because he understand like shit. You long, but you ain't stronger than me.
Man, Scott, what's all this craziness you talking about?
Man, them people would have did OKC would have did them the same thing. Them people don't play no team basketball, man. With OKC, even though she have a lot of points, you never know who gonna get off. Like you never know. Like he ain't the only one who's scoring all these points. He score a lot because he goes to the free throw line a lot too. But them people play team ball, man. We already know. With the Knicks, I watched like 5 times. Brunson was getting double teamed and refused to pass the ball and turn the ball over. Like they don't play team ball. That's why they lost. Look at the turnovers.
Yeah, I feel like they just collapsed down the stretch. Like they rely heavy on Brunson that when they get down the stretch and like I said, the first game 1, Brunson had like 2 dumb turnovers, not because he a turnover prone person, just because when you exhausted and you tired, like your focus be the first thing to go. So when I look at the Knicks, yeah, I mean like I said, in a classic form of team ball, no, they don't play team ball. But if you're talking about Knicks ball as team ball, to me that's what they do to trade like how they used to be like, okay, Harden, you do so much on offense, don't worry about defense. I feel like they do that with the Knicks. It's like we got 3 players at any given moment that can lock down the perimeter defender or whatever, and y'all worry about offense, and you gonna let these 3 motherfuckers work defensively.
That was bound to happen, man. Only reason they got past the Cavs because the Cavs was hurt, man.
Yeah. Well, I said that again.
Who you got in the finals?
And I knew they was gonna lose based off how they.
Yeah, okay. So what's going on? Why you coming at the Knicks now?
That dude was good at with the Phoenix Suns. They didn't even let him get off no shots.
Yeah. They let Brooklyn fool their head up. They let when he going to Brooklyn and get all them buckets on a bad team fool their head. Give all them picks. And ain't even the picks for me ain't even the issue because I feel like ain't enough talent in the draft these days to justify all them picks. Being a killer, anything like that, to the Knicks. But as far as how much they paying him, that's the problem I got. I feel like they could have get him for a low deal. They could have get a Lonzo Ball deal on him. Low 20 a year, call it a day.
Yeah, you gotta give the Knicks credit. You know, man, I like what I'm seeing from the New York Knicks, man. It's over, but this is progress. We gotta get better for next year. We know what we have to do.
I feel like if McCall Bridges been homegrown, if OG been homegrown, if Cat been homegrown, like if all these players been homegrown players, like like how like OKC been with Harden and Russ and KD. I feel like I would be more optimistic about y'all future. I'll probably be like, shit, I'll go on the limb and say within the next 2-3 years, like y'all might be another Thunders where y'all about to just seem like the team that about to start dominating the NBA. But the problem is the money. Y'all gonna have to blow that shit up after next year. Next year is the okay. We don't win a championship this year. It's all been for naught. So that's why I say with the Dibs thing, why not bring in the coach next year? Like, why not just fire Dibs this summer and bring in the coach? I don't get me wrong. I know when I say bring in a coach, I don't got an actual coach in mind to bring in, but it's like it got to be something y'all can do. Make a trade for Spool. Get somebody that's not offensive mind. I'm about to say offensive mind. Get somebody who can coach basketball, who understand adjustments, who understand OTA plays. I mean, out of timeout plays. Like who understand basketball instead of these coaches like those where it's like, well, I got my system, and if you don't work in my system, we got to find somebody that will. And I'm not playing more than X amount of players because I want my best players to put like. That shit getting redundant, bro. Like the Knicks gonna waste this little window they got. It's about to be the most talented team the Knicks gonna have in the next 10, 15 years. Remember, I say that.
It's
10,
possible.
15 years
I
gonna
don't know
go
about
by.
the
Y'all gonna
10
still be
yet.
talking about this squad. Remember, we had Brunson and Cat. Yeah, that's what y'all gonna be talking about 10, 15 years from now. Wasted talent. And jump back to the LaMelo Ball junk. Like that's how I viewing LaMelo Ball legacy right now. Not saying his legacy already written down like that, but that's how his legacy looking so far. It's like you really don't know what you got from him. Like you don't see so much flashes in his dominance and when he is on the court that it's enough to be like how we been with Zion. If Zion on the court, he's dominating. That's how we look at Zion. I look at LaMelo the same way, but it's like once I seen like all these players around LaMelo age reaching these goals or whatever, it gets to the point where it's like, listen, bro, if you care about your basketball legacy, if you care about championship, you gonna request a trade this summer. You gonna have to initiate that shit. But if you only care about being LaMelo, being lit, being Pink, whatever, cool, stay in Charlotte. You're gonna always go down as a Penny Hardaway type player.
I think you said a mouthful right there. No panic.
Yeah, it's like when I see Halliburton, I ain't got nothing against Halliburton. But when I see Halliburton, it's like, damn, like I remember they were calling Halliburton in the draft. They said, well, if you can't trade up to get the Melo, you can always get Halliburton. He's like LaMelo Light. Now LaMelo Light in the finals. It just make me feel like, and I ain't saying LaMelo got to do this. I just saying like from a fan perspective, from a fan perspective, when I see LaMelo Ball, it's like I know what's there, but it's like you can't validate how good you is if you don't put yourself on a certain stage. Like Iverson, if Iverson didn't make that one finals trip, he will always just be, hey, remember Iverson with the crossover? It's like you need certain goals in your career to validate, he been doing that on the high stage. Oh, that ain't just in the regular season. Or that ain't just in the first round. People don't remember
Well,
the regular season.
let me tell you this. Let me help Flight. First of all, shout out to you, Flight. I'm glad you had the courage to have a live stream in the moment of defeat. I know your beloved Knicks had their topsy-turvy playoffs, and we witnessed a colossal collapse in game one, and I believe that's where the series was lost. That
Yeah.
game one collapse ended up biting the Knicks in the ass because no matter what the Knicks did and how great the Knicks played, Indiana never felt that they was out of arm's reach. And by Indiana having this type of confidence, it propelled them into the NBA Finals. They never thought that the Knicks could outpace them, no pun intended, to the finish line. And so we need to thank Flight for giving us opportunity to come on the stream and be able to talk about the Knicks fallacy and all of the preposterous posturing that the New York Knicks fans have done throughout this extended season. So now we have a grand opportunity to dissect the Knicks. And most of us can come to the conclusion that the New York Knicks could need a new voice. Tom Thibodeau's voice might have ran its course. And so he couldn't get the players to give that extra ump and extend their energy outside of themselves for something that was bigger than themselves, and that was Nick Legacy returning to the NBA Finals. So maybe because No Panic hit it the nail on the head. This might be the most talented team the Knicks might have in the next 10 years. I mean, that was very profound that he observed that. And I concur with him 100% because this is a hell of a hell of a team, man. When you break down the Knicks roster, there's no way they should have lost to the Indiana Pacers. Not on paper, not on the hardwood. But somehow, some way, the Indiana Pacers gasped and reached and had an out of body experience as a team and came into New York in the first game and turned the Mecca into a sarcophagus. And by them doing that, the Indiana Pacers saw Madison Square Garden as an ossuary. And there was nothing the New York Knicks could have done to, to deter that kind of confidence and that kind of perspective from the Indiana Pacers. And when you have a vexing player like Tyrese Halliburton that get under your skin and that you just want to punch him in the mouth and he keep beating you to the punch, it makes it all the while unvalor for the New York Knicks to fall. Big Cat, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, and company. Very talented team. And like I say, I concur with No Panic as the New York Knicks having a a talented team that if, if they don't make it, man, this could be one of the biggest fault in NBA history. Sidebar the Philadelphia 76ers when they had all that talent on their team, but they did crack the championship in 1983. That erased a lot of hateful, distasteful vitriol towards that Philadelphia 76er unit. And I just hope the Knicks don't go down the line of history as being the most talented, but yet unable to capture the glory of the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
Who you got in the finals?
I got Shea. I got motherfucking Shea. There's no There's no way I can see the Indiana Pacers doing anything near to what they did to the Knicks, to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Those boys on the red clay, this is their year. And let me tell you, Flight, and everybody on the panel, shout out to Sky and No Panic. If Shea pulls this off, could he be the best OKC player in their history? If he can pull off winning a championship at this age and this stage in his career with the caliber unit that he currently is caroused by. Because we know that the Oklahoma City Thunder, nobody believes that they're really as good as they are because they are swelled with a cornucopia of talent. And when you have Jalen, when you have Chet, when you have Dort, when you have Hartenstein, you'd be like, who really are these people? We know who Shea is. Shea is the business. Shea is the business. But these other pieces that surround him that is very, very helpful and culpable to getting the job done, who are they for real? Are they really this good? Or is it a system that Mark Dadno put together that the NBA hasn't caught up with yet?
Good question. I like Indiana. Like I said, I'm on record. I got the Pacers, and I told No Panic.
I think that's a trauma response because you want to not only solidify how good your Knicks are, but you want to shade the Oklahoma City Thunder because the Pacers beat your Knicks, and you want to justify the Pacers being the best team in the NBA because they topple your talented Knicks.
Well,
So that's a defense mechanism. Like, I know you don't like the Pacers over Oklahoma City Thunder for real.
the Pacers are the underdog. No, I mean, by default, I'm gonna roll with the underdog. But I like Hartenstein on them dudes. They're gonna have problems. I'm on record. Indiana, they're gonna have issues. But they've been counted out all season long, and I like the Eastern Conference teams. They play defense. They're gonna be able to pick up Shea. OKC don't shoot.
Isn't OKC the number one defensive team in the league?
Yeah, I know, but
Hey,
we got to see how
OKC
they
win
deal with the
68
defense
games this year.
that Indiana put on them. They're going up against the championship coach. So I like Indiana's chances, especially if they can get one of those games in OKC.
You know them.
OKC win 68 games this year.
Huh?
I said OKC win 68 games this year. I feel like of all the teams that were remaining in the playoffs at that point, same point a couple of days ago, I think OKC is the only legit one. Like they stand up as like, oh yeah, they're supposed to be here.
Yeah, I agree
Now
with
it's
that.
them and the Pacers. And it's like I feel like the Pacers overachieved. I don't like I said. I never had the Knicks making the finals, but once I see the Knicks versus the Pacers, I'm like, okay, cool. I got Knicks, but I just don't see them beating either one of the Western Conference teams.
Now the Knicks would have beat the Wolves.
No, I don't really beating the Wolves. I think the size, like you got to think about it. Like when you look at OKC, you're looking at a 7'6" or 7'5", whatever tall Chet is, next to Hartenstein, who ain't 7 feet or nothing, but he's still a big five. And then in the Timberwolves, you got Rudy at the center, and then that power forward, you got Randall, who ain't necessarily tall, but he's a big ball. He's a bruiser. He can kill you from the outside. He can kill you from the inside. Like the Knicks lose because they couldn't kill him from the inside, even though that would have been their script if they had that. If Cat was a post player, this series wouldn't be close because they would have had to keep having to respect the low post game. A lot of them stretches where they couldn't score buckets wouldn't be long stretches because Cat would have had at least 3 or 4 touches in the paint, 6 to 8 points in the paint. Easy go to. They would have stopped fouling Cat. Oh, if y'all had any fucking prayer, you don't even just catch any pressures in the post, y'all would have been getting to the foul line a lot more. Y'all would have get a lot more offensive rebounds, equal second chance points. Y'all would have been good, but instead, Cat want to be a fucking a two guard shooting threes. So, like I say, like if Indiana played somebody who uses their size to their advantage, like the Minnesota Timberwolves do, like how OKC do, that shit ain't close. I don't see this being a close series. I don't even see Indiana getting one game. I think it's gonna be a sweep. If Indiana don't win the first game of the series, it's a sweep. If they win the first game of the series, it's a gentleman sweep.
Yeah, I think the Oklahoma City Thundercats. I think they are the most superior team, and they're going to show it. And this is going to really catapult Shea in the folklore of Oklahoma City and Seattle basketball. Because
Seattle, I don't know about all that. I don't think
well,
Seattle
yeah,
be
because the
sweet.
only person in Seattle that won something was Tom Chambliss and Gus Williams, right? What's your name? Them didn't win. Since then, they didn't win. Gary didn't win.
Yeah, but I don't think Seattle fans really care for OKC basketball.
No, but it's still the same legacy though. It don't matter what Seattle fans think. I'm just talking about as a franchise.
I know because I know when I look at like Kevin Durant was drafted by the Supersonics. but he actually played most of the tenure with the entire organization with OKC.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
it's the
like
same organization though. That's
I
what I'm
I
saying.
I know, but why he's saying
All the records are all the
Seattle
records
fans
are
themselves,
merged.
like if I had been from Seattle and I've been a fan of Seattle Supersonics or whatever, I don't necessarily care about the OKC Thunder like that enough to be like,
I agree.
oh,
I agree. I agree with
that's
that.
all. That's the only point I make. I don't think the
Yeah, I
Seattle
agree with that.
people, the fans
Yeah, they don't
themselves,
care.
yeah,
They want their own team. But what I'm saying is that as far as the NBA,
but
that's outside of the NBA. The NBA say whatever the Seattle Supersonics did, it transferred to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I feel like they do that. That can cause an issue because you had the Charlotte Hornets that go on to the Pelicans that go on to the fucking
But they merged it.
The
But they
Bobcats
merged the
and go
record
back.
though.
No, if you
Remember
look
that?
at certain Charlotte Hornet records, they got the same records from the Bobcats and the Hornets. They don't even got none from New Orleans. They only got the OKC some no, I think the OKC falling with New Orleans move, and I think the Charlotte Bobcats and the Charlotte Hornets when they going back and forth or whatever. Even though that's not, it shouldn't be a 1-to-1 thing, but it is because the Charlotte Hornets actually turned into the Pelicans, and that's the Charlotte Hornets themselves, and the Bobcats is a standalone team that just flamed out and got a rebrand, and they just rebranded the Hornets. That's it crazy.
Yeah, and then they merged the Charlotte record with the Bobcats and
Exactly.
get
When they
and
should have
gave
been
and
merged
gave
with
the
the
Pelicans their
Pelicans.
own.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to me that don't make sense because he like, what about Chris Paul? Chris Paul
yeah.
like his shit in Oklahoma City and in New Orleans.
In
But it's
Houston,
like,
in Houston.
yeah, I mean I talking about just as far as the two teams, the Pelicans and the Hornets, low
Oh,
sweat.
okay. Yeah, but anyway, we kind of sidetracked. But like I said, there's a future for the Knicks. I don't think the Knicks fans should be totally defeated because they're coming back with a strong roster and they're coming back with vengeance. But the thing about it is, will they come back with the same voice of Tommy T? Now we all know how I feel about Tommy T because we had a interaction that was very negative, and I held a grudge against him based on that because I thought it was unnecessary for him to respond to me in such a non-professional way. But nevertheless, that's water under the bridge. Tommy T took his team to the Eastern Conference Finals and had a chance to represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals, but fell short of the goal. I just believe this is as far as Tommy T can take this team. I'm thinking that somehow, some way, when it came for the New York Knicks to show extra ump and extra grit, they couldn't reach what's inside themselves from the Tommy T perspective to bring it out of themselves. And this is why they fell short. And this is why the Indiana Pacers never felt that they were out of any game that they played, regardless of what arena they played in. And that's troublesome. If you can't strike fear in your opponent, especially being the big bad wolf on the block, the New York Knicks, with the advantageous fan base that get reckless at times and sometimes at the wrong time, couldn't instill fear in the next team from Indiana? Are you freaking kidding me? So Naptown gave the Knicks a nap. And so now they got to wait all the way through summer in the offseason to regroup and recoup whatever left of the New York Knicks folklore to try to get them back in the stable of winning and winning in grand fashion and nothing less but an NBA finals appearance shouldn't be accepted because they already got the Eastern Conference finals. They already did that. So the next step for the Knicks is get back to the finals. And I just don't see it with Tommy T as the headmaster.
I agree.
Mike Malone might get that job, man.
Yeah, Mike Malone. Shit, I said earlier, Stan Van Gundy. Any coach that's good with collecting talent and putting them in the place that they should be in, and to their strengths, like that just saying Dubs. Dubs ain't never been that. Dubs ain't really adjusted. Dubs ain't an offensive mind. Like Dubs just wanna get his toughest fucking 6, 7 players to play good. Like he's one of them old school. He need to go play college. Not play. He need to go and coach in college.
Yeah, I just think Tibbs ran his course. He got the Knicks as far as they can get, and if they just need a new voice. They just need a new chaperone to hold their hand to the race to the NBA Finals and ultimately to an NBA championship.
Shit, only
Because
got one
the
more
drought has
season.
been too long. It's been over a century, Flight. I mean, not over a century, over half a century, Flight. Half a century. Can you imagine that? Half a century? That's 50 years. It's been over 50 years since the Knicks hoist the commissioner's trophy or the Larry O'Brien trophy or the NBA Finals trophy, the hardware that everybody seeks in the beginning of the season. The race to the hardware. 50 freaking years. That's unbelievable. Chat, help me out here, chat. Can you guys fathom being a part of an integral sport and being a mainstay as a media darling, but yet haven't hoisted the hardware in 50 freaking years? Can anybody help me with that? Because that's hard for me to put into perspective when it comes to competitive sport. 50-year drought, but yet you talked about like you in there like swimwear.
Thunder said, I think the offense should run through Cat, kind of like Houston, Sengun, and Denver Jokic. Cat ain't that type of player. Cat don't got the IQ like that. Cat ain't really a passer or a setup type of player. Like them type of player like Sengun and Jokic and Draymond. Like Draymond the only one who don't got the size. But if Draymond been the same 6'10", 6'11" as Jokic and all them, we be talking about Draymond down in the same like. But everybody ain't got an offensive mind like that who can play from the post and actually control all the damn traffic around them. And Dubs don't run that type of offense for him to do that in anyway. Like shit,
And
Cat.
like go ahead, finish it up.
I'm gonna say Cat is one of the issues because it's like he need to play the five, but they can't play him at the five because he. I say it's because he's too soft, but it really is because like he just ain't a rim protector. Like he just ain't. He a big body, but he ain't necessarily. He don't really use his big. He don't really use his body for all that. Like he rather play from the perimeter. He rather get his touches offensively from the perimeter. He prefer to play them guard the forwards and the centers that want to be away from the basket. Like Miles Turner probably been a breeze for him to play as far as him being playing defensively, but he should have dominated him offensively in the post.
You can't
That's the
dominate,
problem.
but you can't dominate the way that you want him to dominate if you don't have that kind of mindset. If you don't have a dominant mindset, then you can't get blood from a turnip.
That's
You
the
can
issue
lead a
though.
horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink it.
That's why I say that's why Cat's the issue because it's like he can give you a 40-point night. Like you do need players like him where it's like he's a mismatch for a lot of teams on most nights. But it's like, bro, y'all got almost 2 weeks against the same team. Y'all mean to tell me nobody can come up with a way to get Cat the ball efficiently in the post or get the ball get like Cat been 4 for 13 at one point tonight when I'm watching. 4 for 13. Like, and that's a normal random night for him. Not random night. That's a normal night for him when he ain't on.
How are you going to get the ball to Cat in the post if Cat is not in the post and if Cat refused to play in the post? That's
But
the
that's the
same thing
pro-
happened with Anthony Davis.
But that's why he's saying, at least with Anthony Davis, he give you a rim protector. He give you a defensive player of the year candidate type player when he playing. His
I
only
know,
issue is he always hurt.
but the thing of it is that maybe he not always hurt. Maybe that could be some skullduggery on his part. We don't know. But only thing I'm saying is, if you don't want to do it and somebody's forcing you to do it, all you're going to do is mentally rebel. Yeah, your body's there, but your mind is on the other side of town, and it's like you not doing it anyway. So these players have to have a hunger for some of the things that you're talking about, no panic. If they don't have that kind of hunger, that zeal, that zest to be able to um, drive that into a team spirit, then you're beating a dead horse.
No, you preaching to the choir. I've been telling y'all this about Cat for years. I've been saying this about Cat for years. When the question come up or the statement come up of they should play Cat like Jokic or if Cat the issue. I get it. I ain't saying Cat is the only issue, but Cat is one of the issues. The reason why Minnesota been so not happy, but the reason why Minnesota ain't that mind making that trade because he been like they realize Cat been a redundant player. Cat never going to be consistent to I see Thunder say Cat been 20 he averaged 25 in a series. So what? So what averaging 25 don't tell the whole story, especially if you lose 4-1. Ain't like he averaged 25 and it going 7. The shit going like no, I'm talking 4-1. They get 3-2 with 4-2. It's like that shit ain't been a competitive 25 again.
But
That
that
shit where we
4-2,
trying to catch up every damn game.
but that 4-2, no panic, is devastating. So that 4-2 is almost like a sweep from another team for New York.
Pretty much.
That's a devastating 4-2, and it's very unacceptable. And if I was the New York organization, I would look deep into the voice in the locker room and consider changing it, because when you needed that extra and to put the mustard on the hot dog, they failed to do it. And Indiana had all of the confidence in the world that they was the glorified team, not New York, not the biggest media market in the world. A team in Indiana. I mean, they barely got over 1 million people. They
And
came
shit
in
with
there and wrecked shop.
yeah. The Pacers ain't like go ahead.
Or I was going to say, in reality, the Pacers upset the apple cart. And this is why I believe Tyrese Halliburton done reach his peak, and Shea will emerge as the series MVP.
Yeah. Cause shit, the Pacers damn like when they come in the game, I'm pretty sure the Pacers that feel like damn boy, this a daunting New York Knicks. Like they gonna have some suffocating defense. We have to play like this, and they get down 20 in game 1. I know at that point they feel like, well, yeah, we gonna fight back because I mean we ain't gonna just give up the game or whatever. But damn, them boys be good. They good for real. And when they come back and make all that shot, all they say is like, damn. The Knicks ain't really all that scary now that I think about it. Like all they really do is blah 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 this and third, and them motherfuckers start playing with confidence. Like yeah, like y'all, we on the same level. Like y'all the 3 seed, we the 4 seed. Shit, that's how they start looking at them. And
But
with
remember
this,
we
this
talked
got to
about
go
this.
for real.
Remember we talked about this, no panic. And you and Marvin disagreed with me. Only because you guys had a valid point though. Only because you said the series wasn't over. But I recognized early in that colossal collapse that that game was going to be the pivotal turning point of the series and ultimately caused the New York Knicks to fall short of their glory. And you and Marvin disagreed only because there was remaining games and New York had an opportunity to bounce back. And
Oh,
I
I
was like,
remember
they're
you
not.
talking about no,
I
that
said
happened.
they're not
That but what it was me and Marvin were trying to say if they go in and win the series, nobody gonna care about the first game loss.
exactly.
But if
That's what
they
I just said.
lose, no, what you no, what we was okay. That's what we were saying. We were saying you were saying they gonna remember this loss for years. And me
Yes,
and Marvin were saying
only
if they win the series, they ain't gonna really care about the loss. But if they lose, yeah, they gonna think about this loss for years. But if they win, it
right.
wouldn't matter. And you been saying it gonna matter either way. And what you saying now is basically, oh, um, because they winning or whatever. I mean, because they lost or whatnot, it's like, oh yeah, I already know that's gonna be the turning point. So you been trying to say our argument is if that gonna be a turning point or not, but they ain't really been if it's a turning point or not. We understand if they like how Flight was saying the first night, like shit, if they lose this game here, that's it. Like they ain't gonna win they ain't gonna win the series or whatever. And it's like, I mean, yeah, but it really been
Now
over.
this is
It really been over.
you're okay. This let me shed some light on what you just said. That was your argument, right? That was the basis of your argument. Correct.
Yeah,
You
basically,
no
yeah.
right, no lie detected. So that was the basis of your argument. But what I'm saying is that not being cocky, but I foreseen it happening this way because of that first game. And not only that, some of you guys said the Knicks was going to win the second game, and I was like, no, they're done. They're deflated.
Talking about
They're
game
not.
two.
Yeah, they're not defeated. I said they're not defeated, but they deflated. Right? I said they do have an opportunity to make a series out of this, but when you lose in that kind of fashion, right? It wasn't that they lost a 20-point lead because that happens every year to somebody. But it was Tyrese. It was his presence that made it all vexing. It was his presence that made it all annoying. It was his presence that, excuse me, it was his presence that made it so glaring. Tyrese. Now, if it was Nimbard or Miles Turner or somebody else hit that shot, maybe Pascal Siakam hit that shot, it wouldn't be as glaring of a loss. But with Tyrese, because Tyrese is going to run his mouth. Tyrese is going to rub it in your face. You follow what I'm saying? Same with the Reggie Miller situation. Out of all people, Reggie Miller done that. So he know he's going to rub it in your face because Reggie Miller is a S talker, is a shit talker. Tyrese is a replica of that image of shit talking when he gets an advantage over you. This is why a lot of people want to beat him on the court. And so it's good for TV. It's good for the theatrics. It's good for the viewers because you got somebody that's controversial, and that's what I spoke about. When that controversial figure rise to the top, creme de la creme, right? Cream rises to the top. This is what the NBA wants to market because you have people that hate you and you got people that love you. And if you got people that hate you, they're gonna watch you hoping for a demise. And if you got people that love you, they're gonna watch you hoping for the glory. And that's what brings viewership to its peak. And that's why I was saying this is doomsday for New York in game one. Even though it was more games left, I just knew that New York was done. And they wasn't going to bounce back in game two. They would have to bounce back on the road, like Flight was saying. Maybe on the road, they need to get out of New York, too much going on. And they did that, right? They went on the road and they won in Indiana, just as Flight predicted. But at the same time, what I'm trying to convey is that after that game one collapse, that colossal collapse, the Indiana Pacers never felt out of the game. They never felt that they was losing control or losing their grip. New York had to prove that they're going to beat Indiana. Indiana wasn't going to give them nothing. And that is because of the comeback in game one inside of Mecca, where Tyrese Halliburton recorded a very significant 30-piece double-double or triple-double. And that's going to go down in Indiana Pacers folklore. And it's going to go down in Madison Square Garden amongst the not the fringe, not the Daily Joe, but the hardcore New York fans is going to dig deep into that game one and talk about it for years to come. That's going to be a conversation in New York barbershops when it comes to what are some of the significant games that was played at the Mecca. Where were you when this happened?
Yeah, Knicks ain't even got no home stadium.
So there's conversation in the chat at one point in the stream that Harden for LaMelo. Harden is not going to accept that. He's not going to. He's not going to get in no Charlotte uniform. Even if
Why
they do.
would? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying even if they do initiate a trade like that, he's not showing up. He's going to buck that. It's going to have to be a 3-team trade.
Yeah, why
If
would
that was to
Charlotte
happen,
want the Harden?
I don't know. That's what the chat was beating. You know, the chat comes
What
up
it
with stuff.
does, they trying to put LaMelo. Ever since Lonzo Ball come out and say that thing about the Clippers or whatever, they're trying to just find the best trade they possibly can for the Clippers. Clippers ain't trading for LaMelo. Like they don't got nothing to give up because it's like y'all don't got enough in the
Well, they got stuff to give up, but
like
do the
what?
Charlotte Hornets would accept it?
Do they got a shy in the making over there like they do to get Paul
That
George?
ain't. But that ain't what the deal is going to be about. You're not going to get the value of the Melo Ball in no trade, not at this age in his life. But the thing of it is that the Melo value have dropped to an all-time low, right? And a lot of talk amongst the executives in the NBA is Melo really serious about basketball? You know, because he's a natural, phenomenal player, just natural. You know, LeVar pointed that out. Even Lonzo pointed that out. You know, the Melo was just different from us. You follow what I'm saying? And you can see it. And then all of a sudden, he was like 5'10". Then over the summer, he grew to like 6'4" or something like that. And that's when it was over. He said once LaMelo grew like that, he said he knew it was a wrap. There was no stopping him because he still had the agility as if he was 5'10". And he still had the mindset as if he was 5'10". So all the tricks and chivalry and slivery that LaMelo was doing at a 5'10" size, slicing and dicing, putting up the floater and stuff like that. Imagine that in a 6'4" body. Not only that, at JBA, imagine that in the 6'7" body. Right? So he had all of the functions of a generational talent. Just there, right? Because he inherited LeVar attitude, he inherited Lonzo grace, and he inherited Jello's fierceness. So he inherited that, and he put it in a combination, and the flurry was just unbelievable, right? And then he had the showmanship and the charisma to go along with his game, right? He wanted the spotlight, but was LaMelo playing basketball, as you say, no panic, as he was living in a world of 2K? Because this is what executives are afraid of when they want to go all in on LaMelo. Do LaMelo want to go all in on LaMelo? You follow what I'm saying? Or will LaMelo go all in on LaMelo? So Lonzo said most of the conversation that he had with LaMelo, it's not about basketball. It's about life, right? So if LeBron James told Lonzo to keep the main thing, which is basketball got you here, this is the same thing LeVar echoes. Basketball would get you here, so you got to take care of what got you here, so you can keep going further. If talking about life precedes talking about basketball at this moment, at this age, that means that basketball is not a primary directive for him, right? Because when Lonzo was younger, He said that's all he did was breathe and talk basketball. He said it was nothing outside of that world. That's what him and Jello said. It was nothing outside that world. It was nothing but basketball. So if LaMelo comes along, he's a baby of the bunch, right? He's always been guarded, and he always had his handheld coming through the thick and throngs of the vicissitude of becoming a professional basketball player. I say that to say this. It's not LaMelo's fault. He's a baby brother. Guess what? I'm the baby brother. You hear what I'm trying to explain to you? I'm a baby brother of 13. I have a sister younger than me, but I'm the baby boy. And I know what it's like to have some guardrails and somebody holding your hand through because they want to see you succeed. I remember telling the story on Flight Sports TV a long time ago how my brother, his name is Coach Ron, how my brother was a better athlete than baseball, football, swimming. Only thing I could do is run faster than him. And basketball. But his competitiveness wasn't the same degree of my competitiveness because he wasn't chasing nobody. My brother wasn't chasing nobody but himself. But guess what? I was not only chasing myself, but I was chasing him. So what I seen him do, I always tried to get an edge to do it better because I knew he was better. So I saw something that was better than me before me. That what gave me that edge to keep going. But once I passed my brother in sports, because he kind of went into gangbanging and shit like that, right? So when he veered off into explicit activity that was harmful to society, my desire to continue to be that dude waned a little because my brother was no longer in front of me. So the measuring stick was gone that I grew up with and I could trust. So I had to deviate and find some other path or some other mechanism or even apparatus to motivate me to still have that desire to play professional baseball because that's the sport I really was great in. I was great in baseball. I was good in football as well, so in basketball. But baseball, I went all the way to high school with that. And you know that's difficult for playing baseball all the way to high school. A lot of politics in it. So you have to be good and you have to know how to play the game. But nevertheless, my point I'm trying to make is that LaMelo always had Jello or Lonzo in front of him as a measuring stick. When you remove that measuring stick and now you're on your own, now you have to develop some kind of manipulative means to keep that desire going and or compete. And if you don't, you will lose that competitive edge because of the distance between the object of your desire and the means of your approach. And I'm seeing this in LaMelo because I experienced it myself. I don't know anybody else that's maybe on the panel or in the chat can verify, clarify, or even certify what I'm saying right now by having an older sibling, as Reggie Miller had with Cheryl Miller. And Reggie will attest that that's who he was chasing. He was chasing his sister, out of all people. And Cheryl Miller said she was chasing her older brother, out of all people. Wasn't chasing nobody outside of that because their world was encapsulated. They don't know who all in the world. They just only knew who was in front of them. And so the separation with Lonzo being out the league, Lonzo not playing up to the fans' expectation, could that draw LaMelo back to being content with where he's at? have that competitive desire to be the best that LeVar offered him. He said, somebody got to be better than Mike. Why not you? And LaMelo's like, you know what? That's a good point. Why not me? So this is something that could be disturbing in the mindset of LaFrance Ball, that maybe other aspects of his life is pulling him to the point where basketball has been rendered secondary and not primary. And if that's the case, then he's going to have to recalibrate himself and realign himself with that gave him the wherewithal to want to be the great. And to verify what I'm saying is that we remember LaMelo Ball and Lonzo Ball in I think was it Mother's Day? It might have been Mother's Day, maybe the first Mother's Day that they was in the league. And they talked about sibling rivalry. And they asked Lonzo to name his top 5. Lonzo named his top 5. They asked LaMelo to name his top 5. LaMelo named his top 5. The difference between the two is that LaMelo inserted himself in his top 5. Lonzo didn't. Because he still was operating under the LeVar mindset. Somebody got to be better than Jordan. Why not you? So this is becoming somewhat disturbing to me. I can't speak about everybody else. I only can speak about me. That we're watching LaMelo's draft class pass him by and leave him in the dust. And all of the chirping and fanfare is being directed towards those who are winning. And some of the negative epithets that have been hurled at LaMelo because he can't stay healthy. Is it justified? Or is it just rhetoric that has always been seeped inside these people, and now they have the opportunity to unleash because LaMelo's presence is less than expected. So for LaMelo fans to clamor for him to be in a relevant situation in which they could competitively cheer for LaMelo against his draft class and others of his age group to some degree, up or down, that he could be a part of the ilk of young champions that is moving the NBA into a youthful movement and eradicating some of the old guards that have been holding up the NBA and have even elevated the NBA. Don't think Luka is out of this. You have to keep in mind that Luka's coming back next year. And I'm a Southern California native, LA County resident. And they're ready for Luka to return because Luka has been showing up in places that he looks very, very fit. And when the LA fan base sees this, or Lakerland sees this, they are overfilled with joy and optimism based on the fact that he's looking the part. In La La Land, Hollywood, that's all it's about. Looking the part. But we all know Luka got game to go with his aesthetics. Where is LaMelo Ball in all of this plume of chaos and controversy? LaMelo Ball cannot be looked upon as piffle on the pavement. I'm going to say that again. LaMelo Ball cannot be looked upon as piffle on the pavement when his name is being brought up amongst the young talent in the NBA, incoming and present. That cannot be the case. So this is why there is a chasm with LaMelo Ball fans and the Charlotte Hornets. Because LaMelo Ball fans feel the Charlotte Hornets is bullshitting, keep going into the draft using circular logic to try to build a team of kids. Not only do they have to learn how to adapt to the NBA atmosphere, they have to learn how to be men. And this is why a lot of veteran superstars don't want to play with young draftees because it's too much adaptation and matriculation have to go on before they can get acclimated. And this frustrates superstar veterans. They don't want to babysit. They don't want to hold their hand through the journey. Do that somewhere else, and then once you catch on, come over to a winning team. And I believe LaMelo have done that. LaMelo have went through that kind of ebb and flow when he had the Terry Roziers, the Washingtons, and he still have the Bridges of the world. But when he had Bismack Biyombo, when he had Book Knight, I mean, a lot of these players that, they didn't always approach the game with earnest seriousness. It was a lot of gaff and goofiness going on behind closed doors. It was almost like LaMelo had to go through a ritual to be accepted amongst the Charlotte veterans. Parties, a lot of wild stuff. He's a wild boy anyway, but he could do that on his own time, in his own space. He don't need nobody to coach him into that. So this chasm that is being brought up based on the Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, the Desmond Baines, the Obi Toppins, uh, uh, was it Jay Sean Tate? All these players in this draft have experienced the playoffs. And there's more. And this is why there's a chasm between Charlotte Hornets fans and LaMelo Ball fans, because the LaMelo Ball fans want the best for LaMelo. Charlotte Hornets fans want the best for Charlotte. But they cannot come to a consensus when it comes to talks separating LaMelo from Charlotte. That's when the disagreement and the rage come in. And in some aspects, it's an apoplectic rage. You're trying to destroy Charlotte. You think LaMelo's too big for Charlotte. Well, if I'm a LaMelo Ball fan and LaMelo Ball presence got me to look at Charlotte, then I'm rocking with LaMelo through and through. Whether he stay or if he leaves, that's his choice, right? LaMelo has a prerogative to stay or leave. LaMelo has a prerogative to force his way out or see his way through his contract. But when you got the NBA unexpectedly have Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, and Shea Gilgeous Alexander representing their prospective conference to play for the Larry O'Brien Trophy, and LaMelo's nowhere to be found, then these type of conversations and dialogues and debates and discourse is going to come to the forefront. It's inevitable. So nobody should be mad. Charlotte fans shouldn't be mad. LaMelo Ball fans should be mad. But the question is, where's Nemo? Out of all of the fishes that swam in the ocean, where's Nemo? And this has to be taken as a serious approach. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Sky. Shout out to Thunder. Shout out to Ron Whitaker. Shout out to Heart to Heart. I saw somebody else up in here. Shout out to Josh Smooth. He said fire tips today. Well, that's gonna be a little hard. Shout out to James Konovich. Most definitely shout out to Flight. Who else we have in this chat, man? The chat was booming earlier. Shout out to Slim Canhoot, if he's still around. So, I mean, there's a lot of Knicks trauma going on right now. I'm quite sure the clubs are not what they should be. In New York, watching with a watch party, I'm quite sure everybody went home early. The tables have been vacated. Shout out to Real Chance. Oh, Chance, I've seen him in a minute. Shout out to Music Mindset. Yeah, so the clubs in New York are practically empty right now. And all of the bottles and tables that was reserved, some didn't even show up. They said, you can keep that 1,500. Because this is how devastating the Knicks fan base is. And it's understandable because they put so much energy behind the New York Knicks basketball. And they thought this was a dream matchup for the New York Knicks to have, especially beating Boston. This was their dream matchup, the Indiana Pacers, a team that they felt was less than. And the Indiana Pacers somehow turned the tables on the big bad New York Knicks and whipped them out of their building 2 straight games. I knew the Knicks wasn't going to recover. There was no way on God's blue marble that the Knicks could recover after going down 0-2 in the Mecca. Because Indiana now have been instilled with the confidence that they can beat New York in New York. And Tyrese Halliburton can have a standout game. This is what is alarming, not charming, about the New York Knicks exit 4-2 to a team they thought less of. To a team that the NBA circles consider Tyrese Halliburton as overrated. I think they need to reconsider. I'm not a Tyrese Halliburton fan like that because me and Tyrese Halliburton had our interaction and it was positive for a minute until he realized that I was a part of the Big Baller brand entourage. that he saw the overwhelming support of LiAngelo Ball on my face because I wore a mask. And I asked him for an interview, and he granted it to me. And later on, when I went to recoup his words, because my word is bond, and bond is life, and I'll give my life before my word shall fail. He reneged, and then I tapped his snow bunny on the shoulder. I said, "Excuse me, ma'am. He's not really paying attention to me right now. Do you think when you can get his attention that you could remind him about the interview he's going to give me for Flight Sports TV?" And when she tapped him on the shoulder to remind him, humbly, he said, "I'm done with that. Don't ask me that anymore." And she looked back at me, shrugged her shoulders. It is what it is. Now that little pretty snow bunny is his wife. So from that point, I said, this dude is a fraud. Are you freaking kidding me? I got floor seats watching this game. And he treated me like if I was dried up doo-doo. After giving me his word that he would give me an interview. It was going to be short. It wasn't going to be no extensive interview. This was when he was with the Sacramento Kings. He wasn't even a man of that team, but he was acting like he was a man of that team. He was acting like if he was the teacher's pet. And then when he got traded, he was devastated. And in that moment, I met, with that same mask on my face, I met the owner of the Sacramento Kings. Yes, I did. Very graceful man, very stern, very deliberate. He said, "Hey, young man, can I talk to you?" He said his agent, I mean, not his agent, it's one of his reps. And I think it was the social media rep, because he was another Indian kid. Looked like he was about 26, 27 years old, tall. So I came over there. He wanted to talk to me. And he asked me about my mask. He said, "You're very bold. You're wearing a Jello mask sitting behind my team." He said, "I want to take a picture with you." And we took a picture with the mask. Those were the only few words that I've ever spoken or spoken to or spoken with a multi-billionaire. I was in the presence of a multi-billionaire. He put on one pants at a time. One pants leg at a time. Same do I. And we bleed if we get cut. Same as I. But it was an aura of this billionaire, Indian guy, that he felt that the boldness that I exhibit was maybe some of the boldness that he dwelled in business. And that's what separates billionaires from Skid Row. The risk, the boldness. So yeah, me and Tyrese Halliburton had a brief encounter, share words, and then he reneged on. And that's when I said, "You know what, man, this dude is fake." This before everybody was really on Tyrese Halliburton. And I used to tell people, "Man, that dude fake, man. That dude ain't real. He's the industry plant." Because even though I have a Jello mask, all you have to do is say, "Hey, man, take that Jello mask off before I give you an interview." And he's very aware. And this what made me cognizant of his awareness of the Ball family. Because he was awestruck. I'm talking about Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton was awestruck when he saw the fanfare of LiAngelo Ball in that summer league. He couldn't believe it. He was over there looking at Luke Walton, who was a current coach, Alvin Gentry, the assistant coach, talking about how these people really enjoy watching LiAngelo Ball. And the word he uses, everything he do, they go nuts. That's exactly what he said. Everything he do, talking about LiAngelo Ball, everything he do, the crowd goes nuts. So he was fully aware of the environment that LiAngelo Ball brought. So that means he's fully aware of LaMelo Ball being a part of his draft class. That's all I'm saying. And to me, there was a stem of jealousy. Because why would you deny me the interview after granting me the interview? I didn't do anything to you. I didn't bother you. I didn't pester you. I didn't do nothing. I did what you asked. Get with me later, blah, 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 blah. And it's a go. Okay, cool. No problem. So, I mean, congratulations to the Indiana Pacers, you know. What can we say? They came, they saw, they came, they conquered. They came, they saw, they conquered. They came, they saw, they conquered. Congratulations to the Indiana Pacers. Naptown handled their business tonight and for the series and for the extended season playoff run. They deserve to be where they are because it manifested on the hardwood. We can't poo-poo on that. We can't shoo that away. We can't sneeze at that. Why would we if we are intelligent, sentient beings? Now, if you just want to be an asshat, do your thing. But if you want to represent civility, culture, as an intelligent, sentient being, then you have to tip your hat to the yellow brick road the Indiana Pacers traveled to get where they are. You can't be mad at that. You definitely can't be mad at that. And on that note, let me sign off because I got this music playing in the background and I don't want Flight to get no strike. So, man, thank you, Flight, once again. Everybody, salute. Come back. We're going to have more coverage of playoffs in the NBA Finals. It's going to be mad crazy.
This is Holly Heat of the Hot Seat with Holly Heat, and this is Flight Sports TV.
Two-hand cock behind the head.
Please subscribe to Flight Sports TV, hit the like button, and leave a comment.